It was nearly 70 degrees yesterday, but there's multiple inches of snow here in Oxford, Ohio. Some would say perfect hockey weather. And that's what we've got on tap here from the Goggin Ice Center. It's the Miami RedHawks and the Colorado College Tigers. And what was an exciting game last night, ending in a loss tie for Miami, where they went to OT, lost that game, but they still get the 1 point. That's their only point in NCHC play after a 1-1 tie after regulation. Should be a good game here between the Miami RedHawks. Like we mentioned, still looking for that first NCHC win of their new 2022-2023 season. It's been an uphill battle for the most part for Miami this year. Obviously, they've had some ups, they've had some downs. Looking back at the schedule, they had those that one big win at UMass Lowell, who was ranked at the time, and they had the win against Ferris State and Canisius. They got the sweep at Canisius, and then you kind of hit a buzzsaw with Denver and then Western Michigan. Obviously, that one game in Kalamazoo where it was 1-7, just a brutal loss on that Friday night. They're looking to get back onto the winning side of the game here. They had a tie last night. They're looking to get that first win. Like we mentioned, still looking for the first win in NCHC play. That could come today against Colorado College. Let's look at the tail of the tape between these two teams. Obviously, Colorado College coming into this one, still making a name for themselves. Obviously, they're in their second year under head coach Chris Mayotte, still building that culture. Like we mentioned, it's a very prevalent thing in college sports. You're not going to win right away. You got to build that culture up, and that's exactly what Mayotte is doing at the moment. Tigers have actually, the Tigers have won this series in a big way. Miami is 11-16-4 all time in this series. Obviously, the last meeting was last night, and that was a tie at 1-1. And the Tigers actually swept Miami last year in all 4 meetings. Obviously, last year a down year for the RedHawks. Everyone can agree on that front that it was not the year that Miami was looking for. They certainly kind of want to get back to their winning ways of old. Bergeron is working on it. Coach Bergeron obviously still building the culture like Mayotte in his early part of his tenure, still building up this culture here at Miami, getting it back to the once winning program that it was a few years back. Looking at some of the key players for Colorado College, they've got guys like Noah Laba, obviously the New York Rangers draft pick. He's got 10 points on the year, 6 goals, 4 assists. Brian Yoon also has 10 points, 1 goal, 9 assists. So look for Yoon to really be a facilitator of this offensive attack for Colorado College. Stanley Cooley got 9 points on the year, 4 goals, 5 assists. So very balanced out. And then in the goal, Caden Mabreko, he's given up 2.29 goals per game, and he's got a 92% save percentage. So pretty good year that we've seen. Obviously, we heard Jack talk about it last night. Some big league genes. Had a dad that played professional rugby, so obviously helps to have kind of those athletic genes in goal for Colorado College. Coming into this one, Colorado College is 4-6-1 at 1-1-1 in the conference, so kind of looking to get past that 500 mark are the Tigers here in Miami, looking to pick up their first win in NCHC play. Obviously, like we mentioned, this is a Colorado College team. They're looking to build up that culture, still get back to kind of the mountaintop. We've seen these two teams battle it out in past years for the last spot in the NCHC. Both these teams want to be winning in this conference. Obviously, they've got that sight on their mind. It's just a matter of how long it's going to take them to get there. Chris Mayotte has done a great job with this group. He's still building a culture. They went 9-24-3 last year, so less than impressive there, but they're on a better track, it feels like, this year at 4-6-1. Still early, got a lot of NCHC games to play, and it certainly feels like they're a competitive group that will make a lot of the games in this conference interesting going down the stretch of this season. Now turning towards the home Miami RedHawks. They're coming into this game at 4-5-2 at 0-4-1 in the conference. Obviously, we can all agree this has been a gauntlet of a season for Miami up to this point. You've been road warriors for a good majority of it. You've had to play Denver early, who obviously we saw what kind of dogs they have on their team, like Mazur, some of those other guys. Connor Mazur certainly could be performing to be one of the top players in college hockey this year, and he was solid in that weekend here against Miami. So they've struggled to this point with that tough schedule. They're looking to get back to their winning ways here at home in the Goggin Ice Center. Looking at Miami from a statistical breakdown this year, scoring 2.2 goals per game. They've got 4.43 assists per game, 7 points per game overall, and they've let up 2.9 goals per game. They do have 24 shots per game, however, and they're looking to get that number up. They've had a lot of games this year where they've been outshot. Obviously, more shots lead to more goals, and I think that's got to be on the mind of this Miami crew, because you got to get more shots if you can get more goals, try to win some more of these games. And when you're not shooting like Miami hasn't, it's really tough to get goals on the board and get ahead against some of these really tough opponents. But looking at some of the top players for Miami, obviously Red Savage, 8 points this year, 4 goals, 4 assists. Joe Cassetti, 5 goals, 3 assists. We saw a Barbolini list line up a few weeks ago again at Kalamazoo. He's reinstated for this series, 4 goals, 5 assists on the year. So Matt Barbolini certainly could be a guy to circle, maybe having a little chip on his shoulder coming into this game. Obviously, you want some of these guys on the top line for Miami to really start playing well again. Obviously, PJ Fletcher could be a big name to talk about in this game. You want Pearson to have a good game. Obviously, he had a rough series at Kalamazoo last year, actually got pulled in that Friday night game, so you want to see Ludwig Pearson get back to his ways of being one of the top goalies in the HC, and I feel like this could really be the breakthrough day for Miami, especially after playing well last night against this Colorado College team, keeping it close. Obviously, they had that tie, and they're looking to build on that, get a win in the column today. So we'll be back on the pregame show here with our scoreboard segment, look around college hockey, see where things stand at the moment. Obviously, it's still early in the season. Looking to see where this Miami team will fall, looking towards the postseason, about halfway through, a little under halfway through on this college season. So we'll look at the scoreboard segment in just a moment. Stay with us here on the pregame on Red Hawk Radio. And we're back here on our pregame segment on Red Hawk Radio, awaiting Colorado College at Miami University. Should be a good one for the Red Hawks. Let's take a quick look at the NCHC standings. Obviously, no surprise. Denver finds himself atop the conference right now. They got 13 points on the year. Right under them, Played them last week at Kalamazoo. Western Michigan got 9 points on the heels of Denver. Denver's a pretty good squad, but they're definitely going to have some competition this year with these teams. Omaha under Western Michigan, they got 5 points. Colorado College with 5 points as well. North Dakota with 4 points. Minnesota Duluth with 3. St. Cloud State with 2, and Miami got their first point of the year last night with the tie against Colorado College. Miami looking at some points today. If nothing else, get another tie, but you're really looking for another win here if you're Miami. Now let's take a look at college hockey around the nation. America International taking on Canisius. Canisius actually leading 2-1 in the third period. That's early in the third period, so a lot of time left for American International. Sacred Heart taking on RIT. That one just about to drop puck in a few moments. Bentley taking on Air Force at 8:05 Mountain Time. Lake Superior taking on Michigan Tech at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. That should be a good one between those two schools. St. Thomas taking on Bowling Green. That one at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Going to the ECAC, Cornell taking on Clarkson at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Colgate taking on St. Lawrence at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. Harvard taking on Union at 7 o'clock Eastern. Quinnipiac taking on Yale at 7 o'clock Eastern as well. Princeton Brown at 7 o'clock. Dartmouth RPI at 7 o'clock as well. And that'll wrap up all the matchups at the ECAC. So that's going to be a busy conference at 7 o'clock. Should be a lot of fun scores to talk about in that around the second intermission for this game. Hockey East, Providence in Connecticut in a barn burner right now. 4-4 the score there at the end of the second period. Look for that one to be a fun ending for those two teams. New Hampshire and Vermont. The Catamounts, we got to call their game yesterday for women's basketball against the RedHawks. RedHawks picking up a much-needed win to start off the year. RedHawks men's team picking up a much-needed win to move to 1-1 on their season today. Both those games were on Red Hawk Radio. If you're looking for something to do with your life later on, maybe go back and give those a listen. Luke West, Poley, and I were on the call for those. Northeastern and Boston College at 7 ET as well. Massachusetts, Boston University at 7 o'clock. And Maine and Merrimack also at 7 o'clock. So some fun matchups in that conference. NCHC action, obviously our game is just about to start here at Colorado College versus Miami. Western Michigan taking on St. Cloud State at 6 o'clock Central Time. Omaha taking on Minnesota Duluth at 6 o'clock Central Time as well. And at 6:07 Central Time, Denver will take on North Dakota. Denver to look to continue their dominance in the NCHC. Big Ten action, only game that's in conference for two schools is at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. Michigan takes on Notre Dame. Should be a fun game between those two schools. Obviously kind of odd. You're midway through the year, right around midway, only got one in-conference matchup, but that means there'll be a lot of non-conference with the Big Ten this weekend. And just like that, we will get to non-conference. Alaska Anchorage taking on Arizona State at 7 o'clock Mountain Time. LIU taking on Wisconsin at 7 o'clock Central Time. And our one exhibition of the day was a 5-1 final, Ferris State over Mercyhurst. So a lot of teams on the idle this week, getting kind of a weekend off, much needed for a lot of those teams, I'm sure. So a lot of things to look at in college hockey. A lot of games actually dropping puck after our game, so we'll have a lot more to talk about once we get to the first and second intermission through our game. But we are just about set for Colorado College versus Miami. We'll be back with our final thoughts before the game, and we will be just about ready to go here from the Goggin Ice Center. We'll take a short break here on Red Hawk Radio and be back with game action between the Miami RedHawks and the Colorado College Tigers. Stay with us here on Red Hawk Radio. And we're back here on the pregame show. Last-minute thoughts before the game between Colorado College and the Miami RedHawks. Should be a really good one, folks. Both these teams warming up. They're taking ice right before the first period. Should be a good game. Miami looks to get their first win of NCHC play. Like we said earlier, they're sitting at 0-4-1 in the conference. And Colorado College looking to get their first, to get over 500 with their second win of their NCHC bid. With that being said, should be a great game, folks. We're actually going to send it over to the broadcast booth here on Red Hawk Radio. Patrick and Luke will have you until the first intermission. Thank you for tuning into the pregame show. Now for game action.
All right, Zach, thank you very much. Looking forward to game 2 of this series between Miami and Colorado College, as the starting lineup's getting announced right now here at Steve Cady Arena. Patrick Geshan, Luke Poley here will call the game for you this afternoon. And Luke, kind of the basic storyline coming into this game for the RedHawks, just need to crank it up a little bit more on the dial from last night for Colorado College. Keep doing what you're doing. Put together a pretty good performance last night, although you could argue both teams could play a little bit better than what they showed us a little less than 24 hours ago.
Yeah, I think both teams are in need of a jump. It was a game yesterday that really felt like probably 90% of it unfolded in the neutral zone. There wasn't a lot of offense on either side. It felt rather sluggish for both Miami and CC. Of course, CC came away with the win. You talked about it, Patrick. You alluded to it a little bit, that CC probably had the better effort of the two teams yesterday. They certainly outshot Miami, especially in those last two periods. But it really came back to the defensive side of both teams, where there really just was not a lot given to either side, not a lot of energy for either team, and you expect on a Saturday night to have a little bit more jump now with one game underneath your belt here in this series, and we can only hope that that's the case here tonight.
Quickly, as the RedHawks starting lineup about to get announced here inside the Steve Cady Arena. This is a team in their first 5 league games of the year, Luke, that's only gotten 1 point in the NCHC standings. Not really good ratio to have, especially early on in the season. This RedHawks team, it's now or never pretty much if they want to have any shot at, making a little bit of noise in the league this year.
Yeah, we talked about it. It's tough in this league. It always is, but there are the North Dakotas and there are the Denvers, and there's that upper echelon of the NCHC, and then there's teams that are very comparable to Miami, like Colorado College. These are series where you need to win games if you're going to want to do anything in the standings. If not, you're going to be heading to Magnus Arena at the end of the year to play Denver in the NCHC tournament again, which just feels like a repeat of fate for the RedHawks, as they did that a season ago. So yeah, I mean, these are series where you really, really, really need to get points. We kind of talked about it before the Denver series. Playing in games like that feels like you're happy if maybe you can steal a point or two, especially if you have to play a team like that on the road, which the RedHawks will have to do against Denver later this season and against a really good North Dakota team next week. When you got a team like Colorado College at home, you need to be getting points, and you need to be getting a lot of them. A disappointing effort last night from the RedHawks, but you need 3 if you're taking on Colorado College here for Game 2 tonight. Needed a lot better of an effort to do that. Hopefully they can bring it here on this Saturday.
Randy Hollowell, the public address announcer tonight at Steve Cady Arena, as we await the national anthem from the Red Hawk Hockey Band. We'll listen in.
The officials for tonight's meeting, as a son of the National Collegiate Hockey Conference, the referees tonight are Riley Yurkovich and Joe Sullivan, and the linesmen are Troy Merritt and Eric Frank. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday morning, the Miami Athletics family lost a great icon, alumni, and true fan. When Bob Curtis, class of 1958, coined the term cradle of coaches as Miami Sports Information Director in 1959, he was merely trying to link 6 Miamis, all successful football coaches, back to his alma mater. With those words and the book that followed, he immortalized the names of Miami's coaching luminaries and launched one of the university's proudest traditions. Tonight, we ask for a moment of silence to honor Bob and the legacy he left at Miami. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
Great national anthem performance as always from the Miami Hockey Band as we get ready for Game 2 between the RedHawks and the Tigers on this Saturday afternoon from Steve Cady Arena. CC in the same uniforms as last night, the black uniform, the gold name and number on the back, Colorado College across the front in gold with a gold number between it. Black helmets tonight for CC. RedHawks go again with the special script white uniforms, Miami across the front in red name, red number on the back, and you got the white helmets tonight for the RedHawks. Starting goaltenders this evening, Colorado College going to go with Caden Mbarutko again. He had a really good night last night. Comes in with a 2-3-1 record in what will be his 8th start of the year. 2.29 goals against, .920 save percentage for Mbarutko. Ludwig Pearson makes his 12th start of the year, his 29th consecutive in the RedHawk net. 4-5-2 on the season, 2.60 goals against, save percentage .919 on the year for Pearson. RedHawks move right to left across your radio here at period number 1 of the game. Same officials as last night. Riley Yurkovich, Joe Sullivan, the referees. Troy Merritt, Eric Frank will work the lines. 1-1 tie between the teams last night. CC won the shootout to get the extra point in the NCHC standings. And the RedHawks will love some points in the standings here with our Game 2 of the series tonight. Buckle up, should be a good one. Joey Geshan wins the opening face-off. The game is on from Steve Cady Arena. The RedHawks work the puck to the neutral zone and dump it over the Tiger line to the right wing. Hampus Ryquist did that. Puts it near half wall here in the CC zone. Brian Yoon will backhand shovel this one to the far half wall. Tigers trying to break it out. They will. Laba got a feed on the left wing. Flings it to the near corner. The RedHawks zone first to it. Dylan Moulton kind of turn it over. Wait in front for Laba, the one-timer. And Pearson shut him down with the right pad as the puck carries its way to the far half wall in the RedHawks zone. Great chance. Only about 30 seconds in for CC. Laba set up with a point-blank one-timer in front of the net. Pearson there shut him down. Millar gives a face shove to Dukovac near half wall to RedHawks zone. No call. The Tigers with a pretty physical first 50 seconds or so of the game. Cassetti chases a puck near corner RedHawks zone. Can't connect on a feed with Dukovac. Millar sends it to the near corner. McCown digging down there with Moulton. Puck squirts far corner, RedHawks zone. Gleason with it for CC. Cycles it back down to the near corner. Millar on it here for the Tigers. Works it up to the right point for Beck. A shot tipped by a stick in front. I believe that was the stick of Millar. It was in on Pearson. Made the right pad save. Carries its way back out to center. Cassetti a backhand dump into the CC zone. Full 5-man change for the RedHawks. Almost 90 seconds in, no score, Miami at Colorado College. Puck goes near corner here in the RedHawks zone. Red Savage in there, digging with Robbie Drasner. 2-on-2 battle against the boards. You got CC's Brett Chorsky and Tyler Coffey in there. Worked free by the RedHawks. Here's Fletcher skating out, backhand through a neutral ice. Went over the head of Barbolini. RedHawks able to get it deep though as Fletcher got a loose puck. Backhand dumping in front of the CC bench on the far wing. Tigers working out back in the RedHawks zone. Dempsey, left wing feed, Barbolini back for Dempsey in the near circle, RedHawks end. And we'll skate this one in the room up the left wing to the neutral zone. Feeds Barbolini over the Tiger line left side. We'll softly dump it around the boards to the far half wall. Middleton gets on it first for CC. Lost it though in the middle. RedHawks can't get control as Red Savage got a fan on a pass attempt over on the right wing for Clement. Puck carries its way to Barbolini. Over the Tiger line left wing. Mayer stole it away from him though. Mayer will lift this one all the way down the ice. No icing call here. Went off a RedHawk stick in the center circle, and Moulton back to get it for Miami in his zone end. Dylan Moulton through the center circle. He was stripped away by Waite. Danny Waite over the RedHawk line. Feeds near circle. Veremyev trying to go back to Waite. The centering feed though. Clement slid on the ice on his stomach and blocked down the rink-wide feed. We get a whistle here for a hand pass. It'll be against the RedHawks as Clement deflected the puck with his hand as he was sliding below the goal line on the ice. And that'll give us the game's first stoppage here. 17-13 to go in a scoreless first period.
Colorado College has a jump right now that Miami clearly does not have. RedHawks have cycled through their lines for the first time, it seems, but the RedHawks going to have to ratchet things up. Colorado College has been very physical. They've been on the puck very hard through the opening minutes.
Certainly came out with a presence. Clean one back to the right point. CC near circle, RedHawks zone. Yoon sent it toward the net, blocked down in traffic in front. A little shot came in left point by Nicholas Andrews Steered wide by Pearson. Tigers back with it at the line. Andrews, center point, flipped it wide near side of the Red Hawk net. A little snapper. Puck caroms its way back out center. Redhawks get it into the CC zone. We'll get a full 5-minute change here. Yoon back behind his net. Off the board pass to Andrews near corner of the CC zone. The shot's 3-0. Tigers early on in the game. Andrews skates it out of his own end. Left wing feed to center ice. Gleason over the Red Hawk line. Room to skate. Left wing. A quick shot. Pearson knocked it down with a glove and covered up the rebound. Gleason came in looking for the rebound fairly aggressively. Redhawks tell him not to get that close to their goaltender. And we'll get a dry here to the right of Ludwig. 16:34 to go in the first. No goals yet.
It's interesting. I noticed it a bit yesterday, but even today, Ludwig Pearson, he was good, but there were a couple shots, especially early on. I think there have been a couple shots here where it seems like he's almost missed tracking a little bit. He's normally been very good at smothering the initial save, but there's been a couple thrown his way so far tonight where he makes the save, but he looks a little shaky, like he doesn't know exactly where it's going to land on him. He's given up a couple soft rebounds he's been able to jump on.
Redhawks won the draw to the far corner, stripped away though by the Tigers, and then coughed it up. It came off the stick there in the middle of the ice of McCown. No trouble, Redhawks getting it out. They finally will. Back to center. Kumla dumps it in right wing of the center ice red line around the net to the far corner CC zone. Foley with it there, swings it around the boards. Gleason got the feed right wing of center. Flips it middle. Here's Beck over the Red Hawk line left wing. He tried to flip it over to McCown. The puck popped off his stick. And back to the Redhawks, who skate this one up the left wing, dump it over the Tiger line and behind the net. And Barrett's on it, let it go far corner there for Chase Foley, who will throw it up towards center ice. Redhawks get it, Dempsey with it over the Tiger line left wing. Sends it down low to the far corner of the Tiger zone. Taransky first to it, rips it around the boards to the near half wall. Dempsey picks it up, skates it back to the left point, works it far half wall around the boards. Taransky, far circle, Jack Olmstead, who cracks the lineup tonight with a backhand centering feed. Nobody home, though, from the far post. Dempsey will turn it over, left point, a feed down low that was picked off by Cooley, who will flip this one from center ice to the far corner of the Redhawks end. Robbie Drasner first to it behind the Miami net. It's tied up in a battle there as a couple Tigers join the party. Tyler Coffey in there along with Brett Chorsky. The puck popped off the end boards to the near post of Pearson's net. Ludwig the easy cover, and he will make that with 15-12 left to go in the opening period. No score in the hockey game. Pretty light crowd so far in the general admittance section to our right. Student section about what it was last night. Not quite full on the far left end of the bowl. Drawn to Pearson's left, Prokop clean went for CC, but the face-off win went past the defenseman at the blue line, and Tigers will chase this one back. Thrown to the center circle, Prokop on it, flips it ahead over the Red Hawk line right wing. Tommy Middleton tried to throw it toward the net. Moulton blocked it down. Right point, Stratke will throw this one wide to the near side of the net. CC's offside, they got a tag up. Prokop was deep in the zone. Red Hawks will get possession from that, take it out to center ice. Dukovac over the Tiger line right wing, little backhand flip in on the CC net. He's trying to advance the puck, covered up by Mbarutko, and then you get a lot of shoving going on after the whistle. Dukovac is tied up with Christie. You get Geshan down low with Middleton as Dukovac pursued the puck pretty hard after he backhand flipped it in on the CC net. Maybe got a little too close to Mbarutko to the Tigers' liking, and that'll give us immediate timeout on the stoppage with 14:41 to go in the first after they break all of that up. No score, Miami Colorado College back in a moment. Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. Patrick Geshan, Luke West, Poley back with you here high above the ice at Steve Cady Arena. Zach Renger's with us as well tonight. We have penalties coming out of this media timeout, so after the whistle and the scrum that ensued, we are going to skate 4-on-4 for the next 2 minutes. Joey Cassetti is in the box for the RedHawks. For CC in the penalty box is Tommy Middleton. Both of them got caught in a dust-up after the whistle there in that scrum. Both issued 2-minute minors for roughing. So 4-on-4 as we come out of the break. CC over the RedHawk line, left wing. Waba plays it far corner. RedHawks take over there, and it's Dylan Moulton from the near circle for the RedHawks. Skates up the left wing, and we'll go through center ice. Over the Tiger line, right wing is Moulton. He'll rim this one around the boards to the near corner. Red Savage let it go left point for Ryquist, who banks it down near corner of the CC zone. Andrews swings the puck around to the far half wall. Moulton gets tied up there with Veremyev. Will work this one up the left wing, dump it over the RedHawk line to the far corner of the Miami zone. Waba and Ryquist tie up there in a battle. Ryquist skates it through the near circle of the RedHawk zone and gets some room on the far side. This is back here for PJ Fletcher through the center circle. He'll get a little tied up with Beck. RedHawks still possess the puck. Kumlin over the Tiger line, left wing. In the middle, Daskis a little flip wide to the far side of the net. Kind of a snapshot there that went way wide. Near circle, here come the Tigers up the right wing. Millar sends it back for Beck. Right wing feed Millar over the RedHawk line with 45 to go in the 4-on-4 time. Beck, right point, rink wide far circle, a little bit out of the reach of Prokop, who will get tied up there in the far corner with Drasner. RedHawks able to work the puck free there. Daskis right wing for Drasner on the rush over the Tiger line, but they were offside as Daskis a step ahead of the puck. Drasner kind of slowed his momentum there before going into the zone on a 2-on-2 the other way. And we will get a face-off on the Tiger left wing close to their blue line with 13:10 to go in the first, 29 seconds left in 4-on-4 time.
That does not generally make your teammates very happy. Some teams, that's a fine to make a move at the blue line and cause an offsides.
Waldron and Prokop in the straw. Waldron sends it back. Clement with the clean win. Right wing Donato to the middle for Waldron. Skates it up near wing of center ice. It's going to shut down by Strachey. Clement plays it over the Tiger line left wing, and it goes on a send down all the way down the ice. Tigers will get called for the icing here. Prokop is trying to advance the puck up the right side, but nobody there to grab it for CC. The icing call puts the draw to the Tiger zone here. Mbaruk will have it to his left in the Tiger net. 12 to go in 4-on-4 time. And then you get 12:53 left in this first period. Waldron in the face-off with Prokop. Far circle, the RedHawk offensive zone. The shot's 4-0. CC, the RedHawks without a shot in this game, a little over 7 minutes into it. Tigers trying to pass this one through the neutral zone, got picked away. Dukovac over the Tiger line left wing, hits the brakes at the half wall. Will kind of skate away from Gleason, chip the puck down to the far corner of the offensive zone. The 4-on-4 time's over, so we are back to 5-on-5. Less room out there now. Dukovac with the puck back out at center, flips it near wing. Clement chips it over the Tiger line left wing around the board's far side. First to it, Middleton chips it out back to center. Waldron tied up with Cooley. Loose puck grabbed there by Clement. Flips it center ice. Cassetti over the Tiger line right wing. Andrews took away the bouncing puck from his stick. Got it to the near wing where it was flipped out by Yoon to center ice. RedHawks corral back in their own zone as Ryquist near corner will skate it to the far wing from behind his net. Left it on the boards for Moulton, who will swoop through to the far side and grab it. Gave it right to Andrews at center ice, who will play it in toward Ryquist in the RedHawks zone. Ampus room to skate. He lost it though off his stick. Chorsky trying to advance ahead, but Moulton there to pick off a feed down low as he had Cooley wide open in front of the RedHawk net. Chorsky room to skate up the right wing toward the net. Pearson the save with the right pad, and he covers it up. As you had a rebound chance come in on the left side for Veremyev. RedHawks a little bit lazy there in the defensive zone. Puck handling Luke. They turn it over to Chorsky, who sent it up the right wing with speed. A little shot on Pearson, and he covers it up with the right leg as Veremyev was there hunting for the rebound.
Yeah, really nice move there from Chorsky. Tried to go with the old one-hand tuck on the far side Pearson followed him the whole way. RedHawks were not back defensively either. There was a rebound chance, but Ludwig was able to make the stop on that too.
RedHawks through center. Fletcher dumps it over the Tiger line here on the right wing. Millar and Barbolini crash in for it. Goes to the near half wall here in the RedHawks offensive zone. Fletcher trying to feed it toward the middle. Got it back after it was deflected away. Far side Lama with it for CC. Skates it through the center circle over the RedHawk line on the right wing. Here's Wade near half wall. Flips it to the middle. Little backhand shot. Foley wide to the near side of the RedHawk net. And the RedHawks quickly work it out back to center. Here's Red Savage over the Tiger line middle of the ice. Flipped the shot off the leg of Foley. RedHawks get it back though at the line. Dempsey left point, shoots it in wide to the far side of the net on the ice. Chipped out to center ice by Waite to Laba. A little bit out of his reach though. Laba stealing away from Dempsey. Got a penalty coming here on the Tigers.
Wow.
Interference. So Laba was chasing down Dempsey, who had the puck in the far circle of the RedHawks zone, moving backward. Laba came in, stole the puck away from Dempsey. They both kind of crashed their way toward the RedHawk net. Laba tied up with Dempsey as they made their way toward the net mouth area, and Laba, the one that ended up inside the RedHawk net. Dempsey kind of escaped it, but for some reason they call the interference to Laba. The RedHawks get the first power play of the game.
Yeah, they're going to call, I believe, goalie interference on Laba, but that's...
No way he
by
could...
by the book, that's technically interference, but I just can't imagine that getting called. His momentum on the play when he was trying to score. He wasn't trying to run into the goalie, and his momentum just kind of carried him in. And Ludwig kind of got out of the way, too. Really surprised to see. I thought that was a trip initially on the RedHawks.
There's nothing he could really do there at all to prevent himself, from going into the net. So a RedHawk power play that had a disappointing outing last night. They were 0 for 5, and we'll try it again here tonight. Here's Waldron over the Tiger line left wing, flipped it back. Dukovac near circle, got a whistle. It's a hand pass. It popped up in the air, and Dukovac kind of advanced it with his hand to the near corner of the Tiger zone, so that'll move the face-off outside to neutral ice on the Tiger right wing, closest to their blue line. 10:25 to go first period, no score, and 1:40 left in this power play for Miami. Red Savage and Cooley in this draw. Clean win Red back to Ryquist. Fletcher over the Tiger line for the RedHawks on the right wing. Flips it to Ryan Savage, far circle. Back to the line it goes to Red. Near point, Red Savage rink wide to Fletcher. Ryquist giving going Fletcher, far circle. They work it down low. Kind of a feed from Barbolini. Get caught up in the slot. Red Savage takes away the loose puck. Flips it back near half wall to Ryan Savage. Rink wide, a pass got deflected off his skate. Picked up by Red, though, at the right point. Flips it far circle for Fletcher. Right point, Ryquist waits. Fletcher, one-timer far circle, sent it wide to the near side of the net. Ryquist back with it here at the left point. Near circle shoots it, and that was the best option he had. Quick wrister from the near face-off dot. Good save with the breadbasket there of the netminder Mbarutko. 58 to go in the power play for the RedHawks. 9:42 to go in the first.
Yeah, the RedHawks have changed that scheme up a little bit from yesterday. They switched to running that overload. They're back to the umbrella after going 0 for 5 and just a tough effort. But CC on their penalty kills doing a really, really good job jamming up these passing lanes across the ice. We saw Red and Ryan Savage both try to just cross up CC, and they've got their sticks in there, and really nothing's going across the ice right now for the RedHawks.
Yep. Clean one back for the Tigers. Yoon will flip this one all the way down the ice in on Pearson's net. Ludwig will stop it and flip it back for Kumlin. Axel Kumlin skates it out of his own end, flips far side. Daskis over the Tiger line here on the right wing, get hit against the far boards there by CC's Connor Mayer, and then it was cleared by Yoon from behind the Tiger net and around the boards in the near wing. Back behind the RedHawk net it goes with 25 to go in the power play for Miami. 9:07 to go in a scoreless first. Waldron up the near wing boards over the Tiger line here on the left wing. It's stripped away by Christie. The loose puck easily grabbed there by Cooley, who will softly send it all the way down the ice for CC on the clear.
Christie might have gotten away with a little bit of a hook there on Waldron, who chipped it by him.
Dukovac through center ice over the Tiger line middle of the ice. Flips it far side Olmstead. As out of the box comes Laba, so we're back to 5-on-5. No really real threat there for the RedHawk power play. Far corner goes to Millar for CC. In his own zone, tied up with Geshan. Little board battle, chipped away though by the Tigers. Chase Foley, who will pick it up far circle. And skate this one back. There's a little bit of contact there between each side. Kind of a chippy end to the game last night. We've got a physical start to the game here today. Up the right wing, Millar sends it back to center ice. Drasner's on it there with Gleason. They tie up. Drasner flips it over on the far wing for a dump in by the Tigers over the Red Hawk line, left side for Mayer. Far corner, Moulton gets it forward from McCown, far half wall. Flip to the near side now of the zone where Robbie Drasner flips it around to the far wing for Dylan Moulton. Drasner near corner, left wing forward Taransky through center ice. Gets shut down there by Gleason. Now McCown with it over the Red Hawk line here on the right wing. Count flips it middle. Messenberg takes over. The Red Hawks little rush the other way. Kieran Giallo right wing over the Tiger line. Messenberg kind of got it caught up in his feet though. And will be played back to the Red Hawks zone as Clement will regroup here for the Red Hawks. Left wing Taransky over the Tiger line. Strachey up the right wing for Chorsky. They will skate this one to the near corner. He was hit hard there by Dempsey. Poley let it go for Red Savage. Back to the line for Yoon, right point. CC sets up offensively. Bouncing puck though taken away by Barbolini. Left wing feed Fletcher back to the middle. Barbolini the backhand shot. And he sent it way wide on the near side of the net. No scores, 7 minutes to go in the first period. Cooley dumps it over the Red Hawk line here in the right wing. Dempsey to the near corner. Coffey let it go out. Here is Barbolini. Throws it middle for Fletcher over the Red Hawk, or the Tiger line on the right wing rather. And kind of coughed it up there in the far half wall. Chorsky gets it back and flips it to the near wing for Reichwist.
A lot of stuff going on behind plays right now on both sides. Sticks getting whacked.
Red Hawks back with it. Far circle their own zone. Kieran Giallo for Donato, who will kind of get upended there on the play. Had a little forecheck coming in from Ray Christie. Red Hawks work it out back to center. Daskis right wing for Ryan Savage over the Tiger line. Hit the brakes. Far half wall. Sent it back behind the net. Millar played it far side. Lava. Now Christie hit against the boards. Donato. That's going to be a penalty.
Yeah.
Donato kind of let him go with the shoulder a little bit away from the boards.
The arm wasn't initially up, and I was a little surprised, but then it did pop right up. And we saw CC take two very similar penalties in the first period yesterday. This time, Giallo going to go, or rather, Donato. Can't hit a guy in the back like that.
This is the stuff this crew does not really have much tolerance for, is the hits around the boards. As Donato kind of laid his shoulder into the CC player there against the far half, a little bit too far away from the boards for it to be safe. Boarding call is the whistle to the Red Hawks, and a 2-minute power play for CC. The first time they go to the man advantage coming up after the break. No score, 6:10 to go, first period. Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. .6:10 to go in the first period. Patrick Geshan, Luke West Poley back with you high above the ice. Steve Cady Arena. The shots 5-2 Colorado College, and the Tigers will go to the power play for the first time tonight. 2 minor actually for hitting from behind on Nick Donato. So that'll give CC their first look at the power play this evening. A power play that was a 1 for 4 last night. Foley near corner, sent it to the near circle. Coffey a shot. Pearson got his blocker on it to the far half wall. Back to the line it goes for Andrews. Top of the far circle, Gleason walks it down low, far post. Cooley sent it in front, they score! Coffey finished it off on the near post. Cooley far post with a nifty feed across to the near post on the near wing for a finish there by Coffey into the wide open net as Pearson was over on the other side of the crease. Colorado College is sending all forces to the net, and they were able to slide it through, and they take a 1-0 lead on the power play with 5:48 to go in the opening period.
Yeah, it's really interesting because on the RedHawks power play yesterday, we saw them try to do that exact same play probably 3 or 4 times, and every time it bounced off the stick, you just get the puck down low, turn your back, shovel it across, and that time wide open on the back door for Tyler Coffey.
Yeah. Coffey on the power play, Cooley and Gleason the assists, 14-12 into the opening period. For Coffey, his 3rd goal of the year, 5th point of the season. So CC will draw first blood tonight. 5.5 to go in the opening period. RedHawks give up the power play goal to CC. We get a whistle here for a face-off to be at center ice after a hand pass. In the neutral zone against the RedHawks, and it will obviously going to put the draw on the CC right wing closest to their blue line.
Yeah, it was Jack Clement. He tried to just kind of knock it to himself, and he got tied up. Puck went through his legs, and it was touched up by a different RedHawk.
So the face-off features Red Savage and McCown. Clean one back for CC. Here's Beck, flips it off the boards back into the RedHawk zone. Dempsey with it here in the near circle for Miami. Sends it up, Red Savage let it go off his stick all the way down the ice. Stopped by the CC netminder there in Emberucco, who's only had to make 2 saves tonight. There's a 3rd one on a flip in by Barbolini from the left point of the RedHawk offensive zone. Foley around the board, sends it up the left wing. Dempsey back with it here in the RedHawk zone. Less than 5 to go in this first period. Dempsey, it's stolen away there by Gleason. RedHawks get the puck back. Red Savage through center ice. Over the Tiger line, left wing. Fletcher near circle, trying to flip it over. McCown blocked down the centering attempt. Near corner, Andrews, let it go up. Barbolini a drive. Nice save with the right pad of Emberucco. Top of the near circle came the shot. Fletcher sends it up to the right point. Ryquist left point now. Dempsey, a quick snapper that went up into the netting out of play after hitting off the stick of Beck. And we get a timeout here with 4:28 to go in period number 1. CC 1, Miami nothing. The power play goal by the Tigers. Tyler Coffey got it. That's the difference so far. Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. .428 to go in the first period. Colorado College 1, the RedHawks nothing. Draw to the right of CC netminder Kanan Emberucco tonight. Out of our timeout, and that'll get us back to play here late in this first period. And Luke, just kind of one of those games again. It was the same thing last night. Each team is, I don't know what it is, skating molasses right now. It's just not a good pace.
Yep, it's very slow. It's like the ice is covered in a layer of mud. There's just, there's nothing going on really. CC got their first goal similar to what their only goal was in regulation yesterday, just a backdoor tuck-in type of goal. Not necessarily a good hockey play, but not necessarily a play where you're flying all over the ice. And yeah, it's just kind of been how things have been here through the opening nearly 4 periods of this series.
Right. Shots are 7-3 CC so far. Over the line on the right wing comes Olmstead in the offensive zone for the RedHawks. Poked off his stick though by CC's Chase Foley. Sent up the left wing by the Tigers for Remyev trying to calm down a bouncing puck. Front of the RedHawk bench, cannot do so. Drasner gets out the lob wedge to flip it to center ice. Here's Messenberg over the Tiger line left wing. Gets shut down though at the line by Andrews. Sent up the right wing. Varemyev tosses back lob off. It's his own far circle. CC is shot there for weight, but Donato shut him down with the stick. Here's Taransky. Center ice left wing, dumps it in to the near corner. Oh, he didn't get to the line, they say.
Couple steps short.
barely in front of the red line there. And with 3:45 to go in the first, drive to Pearson's left is coming up.
We've gotten Eric Frank a lot of times this season. He's a stickler for the icing.
Oh,
if
no.
you are an inch short of that red line, that's an icing call.
It's black
It's the
and
right
white.
call. You know what you're going to get, though.
The Mayor. This one is a face-off win. Strachey sent it up and out of play for CC in the offensive zone to the far corner. Eric Frank is going to Western Michigan next weekend to work UMD and Western Michigan. And he said, despite the noise, you would think it's not fun to ref there because the lunatics give the ref such a hard time, but he loves it.
Really?
He loves to take it.
Is he an anti-hero type of ref?
I don't know. CC with a chance here near circle. Cooley sent it to the far corner. That one was wide of the net. Strachey near half wall for CC. Worked it to the middle. Coffey with a chance. High slot. Ripped it wide to the near side of the net. Popped off the end boards. Pierce to get the blocker on it to send it back behind the cage. Here is Coffey. Near corner for CC in the offensive zone. Circles back. Sent it to the line. Mayer trying to get a hold of the puck, but Ryan Savage came in to give him a hard time. He'll scan it up the right wing to center, dump it into the CC zone. Near wing with it is Coffey for the Tigers. Dumps it over the RedHawk line on the right wing and behind the Miami net. Ryquist with it. It's the near corner for Kumlin. Rink wide to the right wing. Here's Ryan Savage, room to skate through the neutral zone. Dumps it over the Tiger line right side of the near half wall. Dukovac first to it. Now Geshan behind the net. Swings it around a centering feed. Back to the line. It goes for Kumlin, who gloved it down out of the air on a deflection. Here's circle Cassetti with a shot. Nice right pad save by Emberucco. Far corner Dukovac kind of upended there by Millar. They go to the corner and crash in for a battle. 2:22 to go in the first. Far circle Dukovac stolen away by Prokop. Dukovac sends it back in the RedHawk zone. Ryquist for Kumlin here on the near wing. Back for Ryquist. Kumlin in zone, flips it left wing behind Dukovac. This will go down the ice for a little play in on the CC net and then just kind of deflected in the area and an easy cover against the left pad to stop the play by Emberucco with 2:03 to go in period number 1. In a 1-0 game led by CC.
Colorado College is not letting Miami carry the puck at all right now in the offensive zone. You're seeing a couple guys try to do it, most notably Max Dukovac for Miami. And they're just giving the Redhawks a really, really hard time.
And when Tigers sent this one far side of the neutral ice area, Drasner back in his own end to get it for the Redhawks. They'll flip it up the left wing. This Barbolini on a feed goes in behind the Tiger net. Andrews around the boards to the far half wall. Fletcher there to grab it, sent it in behind the Tiger net. Red Savage first to it here on the near half wall. Let it go up for McCown on the right wing. Goes rink wide to the left side. Gleason picks it up, backhands it for Red Savage. Now it's McCown skating over the RedHawk line here on the left side for CC. McCown in behind the net with Drasner. Red Savage crashed in there to join the battle. Near corner now, McCown with a puck. Flips it up right point, Strachey. Left wing now from the point. Ripped wide of net purposely by Mayer in behind the cage. Kind of popped out in front. And nobody there could really get a stick on it for CC. Tigers still with it on the offensive zone. Strachey, far corner, locked up against the boards by Fletcher with a minute to go in the opening frame. Puck loose in the near circle RedHawk zone, kind of popped its way out of the zone on a feed back to the line by Beck. Mayer back to get it, CC in his own end. Up the left wing he goes over the RedHawk line left side. Drasner will meet him at that far half wall on the RedHawk end. Flip it up the far corner. Remyev with it for CC, down low to the far side. Messenberg around the boards for Waite. Dempsey crashed him up against the boards. Now Lava with a feed in front. He let it go over his stick. Left wing, a shot for the point came in by Foley. Pearson got a right pad on it. Millar near half wall, feed to the slot for Remyev by Waite. Missed his stick. Messenberg far corner, gave it up for Lava. 15 to go in the period. Foley left point, rims it around the boards to the near corner. Grabbed there by Dempsey for the Redhawks. Can't get it out for Remyev with 10 to go in the period. Millar down the right wing for Laba. Lost in the corner. 5 to go in the frame. Laba to the right point. Millar forehand shot into traffic. Blocked down in the circle. Mostly blocked down there by Messenberg. And the first period will come to an end here from Steve Cady Arena with the score Colorado College 1, Miami nothing, Luke.
Yeah, rather, I don't even know, lacking of energy.
It was boring. I'll be flat out say it was boring.
Yeah.
And last night was too.
I mean, it looks like, if anyone has ever played hockey in a lake, you know what I'm talking about, but it looks like when you play on the lake and you don't properly shovel it, and you can't carry the puck for more than 10 to 15 feet without it just kicking up off something and popping over your stick. It's really just, I mean, nobody's moving the puck around right now. CC was able to get one nice sequence, capitalize on the power play, did a good job with that set play, but it's just like last night. I mean, nothing's really going on. I don't know why, but maybe it's just how these teams' play styles match up. There's no room to carry the puck more than 5 feet or so, and both teams are really struggling to get anything sustainable going. This game continues to just be a battle in the neutral zone, and there haven't really been a whole lot of rush chances either. So I think there's no indication that this is going to change over the next couple periods, especially because we played, an almost identical game yesterday, and I think that means you just got to be opportunistic. You're going to get probably only 1 to 2 chances a period, and you got to score on a couple of them if you're going to want to win the game.
Exactly. We talked about last night after the game. RedHawks going to find a way to take advantage of it, and so far not really the case. After 20 minutes of play, they trail 1-0 to the Tigers. Time now for the intermission report. We send it over to Zach Ringer. Zach.
Thank you, Luke and Patrick. Obviously, like they said, uneventful first period for these two squads. Luke made a great point. It might just be how these two play styles match up. Patrick mentioned it was very boring last first period and all of last night combined, and it's continued to be boring for this first period. Obviously, Colorado College jumps out to that early 1-0 lead on the only power play they've had all game, and it came very early in that power play. Not much to love if you're the Miami defense trying to kill that power play. It was a less than impressive effort from those guys, and it just seemed like it was very easy. It wasn't much challenge for Colorado College to score that goal. Looking at the stats by the numbers, 1 goal to none. Colorado College is up. They've got 2 assists to Miami's none. 10 shots on goal to Miami's 5. 17 shots overall to Miami's 10. They've got the 1 power play goal. They're 1 for 1 on their power play. Miami is 0 for 1 on their power play. No shorthanded goals. Each team has 2 penalties. We saw each team pick up 1 on that early fight that we saw. They got those penalties, both minors, 2 minutes. It's been all minors to this point. And obviously, Colorado College, the only team that has taken advantage of those penalties. Colorado College winning the faceoffs 10-8. That's the one area that we've seen Miami been performing well in this year. It's not always that they've won every face-off battle, but they've played well in that position, and it's been better than some of their other traits on the ice this year, but they have done well at times in the face-off. And Miami does lead in terms of block shots 5-3, but that makes sense when you consider how many shots Colorado College has had compared to the RedHawks here at Goggin Ice Center. 4 penalty minutes apiece, and that's just about the first period by the numbers. Luke said it the best. It was a sluggish first quarter where you couldn't possess the ball more than 10-15 feet at a time, and it just seemed like whenever Miami got on their offensive, anywhere in the offensive area for them, they were able, Colorado College was able to just really keep them off their groove. Miami looked off balance on offense in that first period. They had a couple nice shots here or there. They had the best look of the night came early in that first period, and it was a shot that was way to the right, was unable to really connect on anything. It just seemed like whenever the shot looked the best, the shot didn't really live up to what it looked like. It ended up being a less than impressive shot that wasn't really anywhere close to the goal. Henceforth, we see the shots on goal being significantly less for Miami than for Colorado College. Looking at some of the stats, obviously we saw that 1 goal came for Coffey. He's been pretty good this year and was able to connect on that one, and they really like him on their third line at the left wing. He was able to just kind of stay around the net, and Luke said it well on that part of the broadcast, was that it's similar to what Miami tried to do last night. You just send everyone towards the net. It's essentially you're just sending everyone right towards the net, hoping that you get a rebound, and that's exactly what they did. They got a putback putback goal. It's kind of like in basketball when you just send 4 guys to the hoop to try to get the rebound and you hope one of them can put it back in for 2. That's exactly what Colorado College did, and they did it really well on that one where they were able to just send everyone towards the net, and Pearson couldn't keep all of them accounted for and able to score that goal. So really sluggish first half between these two crews. Obviously, Miami's going to need to play a better second period where they control the ball better. They got to have better passes. There were many times today where passes just went errant. They weren't able to continue possessions when they needed to on the offensive area. They just would putter out a lot of the times right around about 10 feet from the goal. They just were unable to get passes around defenders, and credit to Colorado College in that front. They were able to keep Miami off balance, keep their passing lanes blocked, able to break up a lot of what should have been passes that led to nice looks for goals, and that's really was the story in that first period between Colorado College Tigers and the Miami RedHawks. We're going to take a quick break here on the Intermission Report. We'll be back with Scoreboard segment, looking around the leagues of NCAA hockey, see where people stand. Obviously, we mentioned earlier on the pregame, this is kind of, you're getting towards the midweek of the season. You kind of start to see those final matchup with teams in sight, especially if you're Miami. You're looking towards your second time around with some of these programs that you've played earlier, and you're looking to kind of continue some of that momentum. Like we said earlier, Miami's still looking for their first win in NCHC play, trying to get back to their former glory and really be competitive in this conference. That has yet to happen for this crew, but it certainly feels like they're right on the cusp of something, but they're going to have to play better in this second intermission and down the stretch of this season. We're going to take a short break here on the Intermission. We'll be back in just a second. Stay with us on Red Hawk Radio. And we're back here on the Intermission Report, looking around college hockey, seeing some of the scores. We mentioned prior to our game on the pregame that there were going to be some important games that are getting underway. Wanted to see how those panned out. This was kind of the first game of the day in many respects around college hockey, but with a few exceptions. But the NCHC, a lot of those games are dropping puck after us. So we'll take a look at what we got in college hockey. Canisius takes down American International 3-2 the final there. An upset that some would say didn't expect to see out of a Canisius team that moves to 4-8-1, as opposed to American International being 5-6-2. Sacred Heart up 1-0 over RIT. That one's at the end of one at 8:05 Mountain Time. Air Force takes on Bentley. Bemidji State taking on Northern Michigan at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. That one should be dropping puck in just a little bit. Also at 6:07 Eastern Time, Lake Superior taking on Michigan Tech. St. Thomas taking on Bowling Green at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. All those games in the CCHA. And the ECAC, Cornell taking on Clarkson at 7 o'clock. Colgate taking on St. Lawrence at 7 o'clock. Harvard taking on Union at 7 o'clock. Yale taking on Quinnipiac at 7 o'clock. Princeton taking on Brown at 7 o'clock. Dartmouth taking on RPI at 7 o'clock. So all those games yet to tip off, or excuse me, to drop puck. We'll have a lot of those scores once we get back in the second intermission of our game here at Steve Coach Cady Arena. Obviously, that's going to be some big scores there, important games. You want to see where those head. Obviously, those ones all dropping puck well after us here in Oxford. Hockey East, Providence. Oh my goodness, in a 6-6 absolute barn burner with Connecticut right now. They are in shootouts after overtime. So how about that? Providence in Connecticut. What a nice game to watch there in college hockey. That in Hockey East action. Maine taking on Merrimack. That one's at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. New Hampshire taking on the Catamounts of Vermont at 7 o'clock as well. Northeastern taking on Boston College at 7 o'clock. Massachusetts taking on Boston University at 7 o'clock. Colorado College up 1 over Miami as we now move towards NCHC action. We'll have the second period in just a few minutes here at Steve Cady Arena. Western Michigan at 6 o'clock Central Time taking on St. Cloud State. Omaha taking on Minnesota Duluth at 6 o'clock Central Time. Denver taking on North Dakota at 6 o'clock Central Time. And that'll wrap up NCHC play in terms of interleague matchups this weekend. Michigan taking on Notre Dame in just a few minutes, about 10 minutes that puck will drop. That game should be fun between Michigan, who's coming into that game at 9-2, and Notre Dame, who's at 4-5-2 coming into that one. Should be a fun game between Michigan and Notre Dame. Non-conference action, Alaska Anchorage taking on ASU. That one at 7 o'clock Mountain Time. Long Island taking on Wisconsin at 7 o'clock Central Time. So a lot of later puck drops today in college hockey. Mercyhurst taking on Ferris State. That was an exhibition game in which Ferris State won 5-1 over Mercyhurst. So that's kind of the scores around college hockey. Lights are coming back on here at Steve Coach Cady Arena. The players will be back on the floor in just a second. Obviously, Miami looking to even the score here between Colorado College and the RedHawks. Less than impressive first quarter from the RedHawks, but that can all be remedied by a good second quarter and then a good third period. But from this squad, obviously, this is a team that's in desperate need of that first win in NCHC play. They've gone through the gauntlet, like we mentioned in the pregame. It's been a really tough schedule to this point. They've struggled. They had to take on a very highly powered Denver team that has obviously put a hurting on a lot of teams. They took them on here at home, and they didn't fare very well against that team. Obviously, Connor Mazur, can't say enough about that guy. He had himself a weekend here in Oxford, and then you go to teams like in Kalamazoo last weekend against Western Michigan. It just doesn't get much easier. You really feel like you need to pick up some points, and a lot of them here against Colorado College at home, because this is not an overpowered squad. They think they just really did not play that well in terms of Miami in that first period. So they're really going to need to turn up the intensity. We're going to turn it back over to the broadcast. Patrick and Luke will have you for the second period. Just about set here from Steve Cady Arena here in Oxford, Ohio.
All right, Zach, thank you very much. Again, I had to wait for that little horn there to go through before we can comprehend any words. But yeah, Luke, like Zach said, more energy needs to be shown by each side in the second period, and for the RedHawks especially, turn up the dial, do something more creative, especially the offensive end of the ice.
Yeah, and it's so tough because, you know, there are a lot of different ways to break through when you're playing poorly, and it depends on how you're playing poorly. And this is just a really tough spot to be in for the RedHawks when you don't have a lot of energy, when your guys are clearly out there, you're trying to make plays. You look at guys like Max Dukovac and what he did in the offensive zone in that last period. I mean, he's clearly trying his best to make plays. It's just pucks are bouncing all over the place. You're not really getting any room to skate. And so I don't know what types of adjustments we're going to see from Chris Bergeron coming out of the locker room, but it's going to need to be something, as the RedHawks just really did not have a lot in that first period.
Yep. RedHawks move left to right across your radio here in period number 2. They're going to win the face-off back. Reichquist sends it through the center circle. Red Savage had a feed picked up by Wade, who was upended there inside the center circle by Red Savage after dumping the puck in. Goes to the near corner here in the RedHawks zone. Hampus Reichquist will play this one up the right wing boards. Hit the brakes in front of the penalty boxes. Works it up the far side. Barbolini now near wing Dukovac. He was stripped away by Yoon in front of the CC net. Tigers here up the right wing. Here's Lava. Through center ice over the RedHawk line right side. Reichquist poked the puck away from him. And the RedHawks get up the right wing. Here's Geshan over the Tiger line. Will send it to the middle. Went behind Barbolini. Geshan back with it though at center ice. From the penalty boxes, plays it up the left wing. Tigers take over. McCown over the RedHawk line. This is back near circle, a shot. And Pearson got a left leg on that to save it with the pad. Here's Fletcher out at center. Over the Tiger line left wing, Cady to the far corner here for Fletcher. Cady back with it to the left point, Kumlin. Right point now, Drasner. Sends it down low, Fletcher at the goal line. Let it go off his stick to the near corner. Vasquez picks it up, feeds right wing, Drasner. RedHawks set up in the offensive zone. Left point, a one-timer Kumlin. Nice blocker save made by Mbarucco. And the RedHawks turn it over on a bat feed down low. Here's McCown over the RedHawk line right wing. Little rush, far circle, a quick wrist shot. And a good save made by Pearson against the chest. He put the glove up to cover up the puck against his body with 18:33 in the second period after Ludwig caught it pretty high there on his chest. 1-0 lead for the Tigers. Draw to Pearson's left is coming up in the RedHawk zone.
Yeah, and it's been noticeable in every single period. I think this entire weekend, CC in the first minute of every period, and I'm sure it's in their game plan, they come out and they lay one or two just really big hits. Happened in the corner on that first shift, but it's really noticeable. They come out on the first shift, and there's always a big hit that they lay, whether it's on a forecheck, whether it's back in their own zone, just something on that opening shift. We've seen it every single period so far this weekend.
Yeah.
Tried to drop the puck. They had a quick stoppage. The referee came over the penalty box. There's an issue with the clock, I guess, so they're going to reset it.
Draws to the left of Pearson here in the RedHawk zone. Clean win back for Clement. Right wing for Ryan Savage. To the middle for Waldron. Over the Tiger line here on the right wing. We'll flip it forward below the goal line. Here's Mayer. Far corner gave it up. Barbolini to the line. Donato. Right point. Clement shoots it in. Nice save made by Mbarucco. The rebound popped out of his reach, but Cooley came in to clear it away. And he'll feed Chorsky here on the left wing over the RedHawk line. Chorsky though get tied up at the half wall near wing. Donato took it away from him. We got a hand pass call here. I think Donato got that puck unintentionally up in his glove area to get a hand pass call on the RedHawks. As the faceoff comes to the right of Pearson here in the RedHawk zone with 18:04 to go in period number 2. You got Chorsky, you got Cooley, you got Coffey, Causey, Christie on the CC team.
CC.
CC team. Yoon flips it middle. I don't know what. Well, and they're in Colorado. And
Colorado
something
ecology
going on there. Chris Mayott's got a lot of, almost like the letter C. Back in the CC zone is the puck. Played here by Andrews. Near side for Ryan Savage. Takes it over the Tiger line here in the right wing. Yoon took away the loose puck in behind the Tiger net. He'll go right wing. He flipped it over. That was Messenberg with a quick shot far circle. Nice aware right pad save Mbarucco. Messenberg works it back behind the net. Right point Reichquist. Center point Moulton shoots it point blank. And through traffic, it was seen all the way by Mbarako, who made the breadbasket save. We get a stoppage here with 17-19 to go in the second period, and Olmsted will get a little word talk with Andrews.
And I think, Patrick, the adjustment now through the first couple of minutes has been evident for Miami. It's the puck support that they've been better at here in this second period. After the initial loose pucks are kind of knocked away, you can tell the RedHawks are pouncing a little bit more with those secondary guys in on those battles.
Mayer through center ice. CC puts it far corner of the RedHawks zone. Reichwitz there with Laba to try to take it away. Causey ended up with it in the far corner. Moulton here for the RedHawks. Far corner got locked up against the boards by Causey, who's causing a lot of trouble down there. Far half wall, it squirts up. Caragiallo trying to get it out for the RedHawks. Could not. Laba blocked it down. They lock up for it again. Far half wall, picked away by Messenberg. Flips it middle. Here's Reichwitz up the right wing for the RedHawks through center ice. Left wing feed Messenberg over the Tiger line. He will shoot it. Nice direct in behind the net with a stick with a netminder in Mbarako. Far side with it, Mayer flips it out back to center. Here's Reichwitz with it. Right wing for Drasner. Up ahead for Barbolini. Flips over the Tiger line to the near corner of the CC zone. Mayer and Dukovac crash it for it there. Dukovac clean win on the battle for the RedHawks. Backhand feed, left point Kumlin. Side steps Gleason. Hits it back down low below the goal line. Kumlin back with it with a shot far post. And there to shut him down with the right shoulder was Mbarako, covered up the puck in the blue paint in front of him, and we get a stoppage here with 16-10 to go in the second. The shot count, by the way, is tied up at 11. In a 1-0 game led by the Tigers.
RedHawks are crashing down on the net a little more here in the second period. And you know, now that looking back on it, it does kind of seem like the RedHawks sat a little bit on the perimeter of the ice in the offensive zone in that first period. They were kind of flinging pucks at the net, but there was really no traffic. It was kind of mucked up on the defensive side.
CC, the face-off, went far, circled their own zone, and was lifted all the way down the boards by Millar for an icing call on the Tigers.
You're starting to see those tips, though, those second chance opportunities a little more here in this second.
Yeah.
I think the RedHawks have definitely played better here in the opening minutes.
Draw to the left of Mbarako, I'd agree with you, but keep it up for the entire period. Daski's got the face-off win, fired a shot in, Mbarako the chest save. Right point, Drasner with it for the RedHawks. Tosses back Fletcher here at the right point, shoots it right to the legs of Foley, went off his shin guard, left point. Kumlin sends it down below the goal line. Daski's hit front for Fletcher, point blank. And a great save with the right pad. Mbarako starts to rush the other way. CC, McCown over the RedHawk line, left side. Dishes back, the one-timer by Coffey. Good right pad, stop by Pearson. RedHawks work it back to center ice. Andrews ahead for Coffey, gonna whistle, they were offside. CC was trying to come back into the offensive zone on the left wing with 15:32 to go in the second. Good chances at both ends there, Luke, and the goaltenders have played pretty well this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. Both goaltenders over 90% on the weekend in terms of saves. 13 saves right now for Mbarako, 12 for Ludwig Pearson here in this game. Mbarako, the reigning NCHC goaltender of the week. Ludwig Pearson, I believe, has already won that honor twice this season.
Mbarako had a really good showing last week when the Tigers were at home against Duluth.
Yeah, and he was not the initial starter this year either. That went to Matt Vernon, but he's been starting a lot the past couple weeks. It's his 7th game.
Yeah, splitting time with Vernon throughout the year, but Mbarako's kind of become the #1 guy over the past couple weekends. Prokop skates in near corner of the RedHawks zone. Clement up the right wing for Ryan Savage through center ice. Will take it by himself over the Tiger line right wing. Near circle, Ryan Savage still with it. In a 4-on-2 and kept it by himself, and will spin around for a shot in the far circle, send it wide to the net. He goes off the glass all the way down the ice. RedHawks back to get it. CC in a full 5-man change.
That's what you call a free breakout, Patrick. With that much traffic in front, I mean, you like to pick corners when you're in point blank, but you really want to get that shot low, get second chance opportunities with 3 white jerseys in front of the net.
We got a penalty coming here as Strachey got a hand up high in the head area of Caragiallo, and the RedHawks will go to the power play as it was touched up in front of the CC net. You had Ryan Savage shoved over from behind. Both referees in their arms up. Yes. Caragiallo is carrying the puck below the goal line from the near side to the far side. Strachey playing defense got his arm wrapped up in the head area of Kieran Giallo, and both arms went up. We'll probably get a head contact call here.
Yeah, and the RedHawks are lucky if nothing else comes out of this, and it doesn't look like there's going to. Ryan Savage got tossed in front of the net because he decided it was a good idea after that puck was touched up to shoot it into the Colorado College net, and that is not something that's well liked by defensive teams. He was promptly thrown down, but that's not a penalty. That's just in the code of hockey, and Miami, luckily for them, will have only one penalty result out of this. They're headed to the man advantage here in this second.
Step aside, 14:34 to go in the second. CC 1, Miami nothing. Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. .34 to go in period number 2. Colorado College 1, Miami nothing. We had a 2-minute power play for the RedHawks coming up. Miami is 0 for 1 on the power play here tonight. It is a 2-minute minor for holding to Ethan Strachey of CC. So we go to the power play for the RedHawks early on in the second. And we get a whistle for a penalty called right after the face-off for interference on Red Savage.
He's not going to like that call one bit. That is, it's one of those plays where Savage, the initial thing was not a penalty, and that's what Chris Bergeron's complaining about, but the tail end of that absolutely was. He was in a face-off against Noah Prokop. He won it back, and the two just kind of locked up their sticks together, and they were kind of pulling and tugging like the game you play in practice where you try to push the other guy over. And Savage just turned him around and threw him, and you can't do that away from the puck. That's interference. Tough penalty for the RedHawks to negate a power play within 4 seconds.
Yep. Far side RedHawks arrested here in 4-on-4 for the next minute and 48 seconds. Near side Dukovac with a puck for the RedHawks in the offensive zone. Spins around here in the near corner, skates it up the near half wall, sends it forward to get a steal away though by Lava, who will circle his way back into Tiger zone. Left wing for Andrews through center ice. Skates it over the RedHawk line here on the left wing. Nyquist over on the far corner with it for the RedHawks. Banks this one out back towards center. Nyquist passes middle. Here's Kumlin. Right wing Daskis over the Tiger line to the near circle. He'll hit the brakes near corner. Toss it back for Dukovac. 1:10 to go in the 4-on-4 time. RedHawks trail CC 1-0. Ike was tripped up a little bit from behind by Gleason. The arms will stay down. Battle for it here near half wall of the Tiger zone. This game has so much different pace than when the RedHawks played last weekend in Western Michigan and what the RedHawks saw against Denver a couple weekends ago on this sheet.
Someone got taken down and Burgess screaming.
Fletcher, break near circle, a shot. Great right pad save, getting a piece of that. Deflecting in far corner was Embaracco. Daskis picks it up in the far circle. Will dish a little backhand toward the net. Embaracco shut it down with a stick. And the Tigers here will break this one out on their own zone as Andrews up the near wing will dump it in from center. See McCown back with it here at center ice. Spoke too soon, he never dumped it in, he faked it. And the Tigers back with it in their own zone. That's how slow this game is. Here comes Millar over the Red Hawk line, left wing, goes in behind the net to the far half wall, where he will send this one to the far corner as Drasner applied pressure. Here's McCown, far corner with a puck for CC. Up to the right point, this is near wing from Millar as the Tigers Strachey returns to the ice. He had a flip ahead there out of the reach of Vermont and went the feed from the near side for the Tigers. Red Savage is out, so we're back to 5-on-5 as the penalties are over. Here's a chance for the RedHawks. Waldron far circle, this is rink wide. The feed though is picked off beautifully by Coffey, who rushes up the left wing over the Red Hawk line. Feeds the middle, McCown the shot over the net. It popped off the glass to the far circle. Here's Kieran Giallo, flips it over the Tiger line left wing. Far corner crashes in with Foley. Coffey in there to help him. Around to the near corner it comes for McCown. Now Yoon in behind the Tiger net. Flips it back for Foley. Spins it around the boards. Back towards center ice. Here's Donato. Far wing for Clement. Gets to the center ice red line. Left wing spins it around the boards to the near half wall. Played there by Coffey. Now in behind the net for Foley. Far corner with it is Yoon. Will play this one back into the RedHawks zone. Donato up in the center circle for Chorsky, who will play it to the near corner of the RedHawk end. Donato is with it for Miami behind his net. 11:22 to go in the second. CC 1, Miami nothing. Donato back in his own zone. Right wing feed Dukovac over the Tiger line. Flips it far circle for Barbolini. Went off his stick. Now Clement near corner for Dukovac. Right point for Ryquist. Dukovac near half wall. Near circle with it. He'll shoot it. Nice left shoulder save. Mbareko. Went off his shoulder and behind the net. Mayer's on it for CC. Down to the far corner. Red Savage takes the puck away. And we'll let this one go back for Strachey. Now Red Savage back with it. It's just weird. This game is weird. Red Savage turns it right over. He passed it right to Christie of CC, who then will turn it right back over to Red Savage. Then Cooley flipped it ahead for Middleton. Now it's Ryquist over the Tiger line on the right wing for the RedHawks. He lost control. Mayer for Cooley. Let it go back to the middle. Yeah, I mean, I'm just laughing right now at how sloppy this last minute has been. It's unreal. Ryquist to the middle. Fletcher far circle. Shot from Cassetti, and a nice save was made by Mbareko. He'll cover it up on the far post of his net with 10:17 to go in the second. And I'm not trying to say that anybody's bad or anybody should be playing better. It's just weird the way this game is. I'm not trying to be negative or anything, but I'm being realistic.
We talked about how there's little to no room to skate, but I think also a piece of that we've glossed over. If you don't want to skate the puck, maybe you can pass the puck a little more, but every single pass is bouncing off a stick, it seems like. And you see a guy that, what do you want to call it? He turns it over, but the guy who picked off the pass has it bounce off his stick and it goes right back to the other team. I mean, it's just wacky that last minute was.
Greenwood and RedHawks in the offensive zone. Daskis rink wide near corner. Drasner picked it up. Now Fletcher with it here deep in the RedHawk offensive end. Laba behind the Tiger net and around the boards to the far half wall. Grabbed there by Moulton. Now it's Daskis. Laba sent it back up high in the zone. Or it carries its way to center ice. Drasner's on it for the RedHawks. Left wing flip for Fletcher. Middle of the ice, Cassetti over the Tiger line here on the right wing. Joey Cassetti in the near corner will hit the brakes. Back to the line for Drasner. Left point now, Fletcher shoots it in. Nice save made by Mbareko. Maybe blocked in front a little bit by Daskis. I think it was. He was screening. Buck carries its way back out into the RedHawk zone. Moulton with it for Miami to the near wing for Drasner. Turns it back for Moulton. It's the center ice red line. Left wing dumps it into the CC zone. Here's McCown with it. Tossed it back for Barbolini. Far half wall. He'll skate it down to the far corner. In front for Ryan Savage. It's loose in the crease. Mbareko just lays down. It's under him. And the whistle will blow. And you got Barbolini shoving Yoon after the play. They're going to take some penalties here. Gleason got tied up with Clement. 9:13 to go in the second. The RedHawks there getting a few bounces with the puck going down toward the net, but able to keep it out of the cage. Mbareko, the puck was kind of under him and he just fell back. Going to the box, Cassetti, and I think that's all they're going to take.
Yep.
So I bet CC going to the power play. When we come back, we'll sort it all out. 9:13 to go in the second. 1-0 Tigers, Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. 9:13 to go in the second period. 1-0 Colorado College over Miami. Patrick Geshan, Luke Poley back with you. Zach Rengers as well tonight at Steve Cady Arena in Oxford. A power play coming out of the break for CC. It was a 2-minute minor for roughing to Joey Cassetti. And the Tigers here will go to work on the power play. They're 1 for 2 on the man advantage tonight. Gleason with a face-off win near circle. Whistle for a penalty in front of the net. The Tigers are going to get it, as Moulton's stick was taken out of his hands by Stanley Cooley, and Cooley will go here 2 minutes for interference. They get tied up there in front of the net, and Cooley dislodged the stick from the hands of Moulton.
Yeah, I'd have to see a replay of this. Cooley's arguing that he lifted the stick, and that's what it initially looked like to me as well, which wouldn't be a penalty, but also the stick didn't really go flying up in the air too much, so there might have been kind of some side stick check action, so they'll call it. And so Miami gives up a power play 6 seconds in, and now CC gives up a power play 7 seconds in, and we'll skate 4-on-4 for the third time in this game.
To the left of Emberecco with a face-off. One back behind the Tiger net to the near corners, Foley. Sends it over on the far wing with a puck. Here is McCown for CC. 4-on-4 for another minute 40. Foley near circle, back for McCown. The backhand flip up. Pearson made the same with his face mask. Deflected it down to Rydquist, who will send it back to center out of the reach of Barbolini. Now Foley will skate it back for CC. Played ahead here by Millar for the Tigers. Let's go RedHawks, the chant from the crowd, trying to fire up their team. Causey skates backward over the RedHawk line, left wing, flips it off to the near circle for Millar. It's the breaks at the near half wall. This is back for McCown. Left point for the Tigers. He will toe drag Duka back at the line, but then let the puck go, and it's Mayer back with it for CC at center. Up ahead is McCown over the RedHawk line, right wing. Far circle, a shot wide to the near side of the net from Gleason. It goes off the near corner boards all the way down the ice. And Mayer back to get it for the Tigers. 50 left and 4-on-4 time. Kumlin in the center ice area, tried to take it over the line. Gleason there was there to shut him down. Gleason over the RedHawk line, left wing for CC. Little flip play back, and Red Savage took away the pass on a pickoff. Red Savage through center ice, over the Tiger line, left wing. It's stolen away there by the Tigers. Taking it off his stick was Strachey. Knocks back with it in their own zone. Here's Strasser, got a right wing feed from Kumlin. He'll hit the brakes before the Tiger line. Dish it back to the far wing for Kumlin. 15 to go in the 4-on-4. Strasser up the right wing, trying to go over the Tiger line and get shut down by Beck. Kumlin now will try to flip this one up. Andrews tosses back for a play here by Mayer. Mayer to the near side for Andrews. Up left wing, Waba. Over the RedHawk line, left side. He'll spin around near half wall, feed it to the middle. Near circle is Beck with a puck. To the line, Andrews back to 5-on-5. The penalty's over. Shot from Yoon at the right point. Nice blocker save made by Pearson. Here's a chance the other way. Daskis over the Tiger line, right wing. Room to shoot it. He will. And a great save made by Emberecco with the chest on the wrister. 6:51 to go in the second period, as Daskis had a nice break to the net, room to skate up the right wing of the offensive zone for the RedHawks. Simple wrister from the rim of the near circle, and Emberecco there to save it with the chest.
That was a good move by Daskis. He toe dragged it a little bit, which made Emberecco kind of move, and that allowed him to shoot that up high and generate a little bit of a rebound. Fortunately for Emberecco, he used that wide wingspan to get the glove hand down on it before Miami was able to crash down on it too hard. And now the RedHawks with an ozone face-off.
Clean win to Daskis from Cassetti. He'll shoot it wide to the far side of the net. Clement left point, shovels it down to the far corner. Millar on it here for CC. Flips it around near corner. Tigers on it. Chase Foley up the near wing boards. All the way down the ice. This will go. Clement will beat out the icing for the RedHawks. Christie was pursuing him. Up the near wing goes Daskis over the Tiger line. Here in the right wing, hits the brakes. At the near half wall, goes down to the near corner. Flips it back. Here's Fletcher. Center point, Donato will rip the one off Middleton's leg in the near corner. Here's Millar. Far side for CC. Will bank it off glass into the neutral zone. Donato back with it. Near side Cassetti for the RedHawks. Takes over the Tiger line here on the right wing. Flips it back, Fletcher. Near circle, shoots it. Nice shoulder save, Emberecco. Now Cady to in behind the net. Ryan Savage there to knock it to the far corner. Chorski gave it up for Coffey through the center ice area. Flips it over the Red Hawk line left wing. Clement and Cooley tie up there. Now it's Reichwist up the near wing boards where it was stopped there by the Tigers. Here's Reichwist, still got it back over the Tiger line, middle of the ice. Flips it to the near side of the CC net, picked up near corner by Andrews. Coffey right point. Here's Ryan Savage. Flips it back. Moulton will try to send it from the center point. Didn't have much room. It deflected on a shot to the far corner. Tigers play this one back out to center ice. Chorski over the Red Hawk line, left wing to the near corner. Moulton there to grab it. 5:17 to go in the second. Red Hawks trail CC 1-0. Here Giallo back in over the Tiger line here on the right wing. Foley in behind the net. Plays it to the middle of the ice. Back over the Red Hawk line, middle of the ice here with Fan on the wrist shot, top of the near circle. Played it down low for Causey. Drasner locks him against the boards, far corner of the Red Hawk zone. Loose puck there, picked up by Causey, won the battle. Back to the right point it goes. Foley now left point for CC, shoots it off Olmsted's legs. And Kieran Giallo will start to skate up the ice for the Red Hawks. It'll backhand dump in right side of the CC line. Millar near corner, CC zone for Beck. Rink wide to the right wing, here's Causey. Over the Red Hawk line right side for McCown. Far half wall skates it down to the far corner. Back to the near circle now, try to flip it to the middle. Mayer let it puck go over his stick. And behind the net it goes for Mutson. Will be locked up against the boards by Kumlin. Now Gleason near corner. Locked up there with Kumlin, and will steal it away for the Red Hawks. Banks it off the glass. Back to center ice, 2-on-1 the Red Hawks. Dukovac over the Red Hawk line right wing, near circle. Dinks, stick handles. He never got a shot off, but he was hooked. And the penalty here to CC, it's going to be a hooking call against the Tigers. Connor Mayer as Dukovac trying to skate it through the middle. And Mayer got his stick up high, classic hook, and the Red Hawks to the power play with less than 5 to go in the second. We got a immediate timeout. Red Hawks chance to tie it when we come back. In a 1-0 game, they trail. This is Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. .402 to go in the second. 2-minute power play coming up for the Red Hawks. Hooking minor to CC's. Actually can give it to Ethan Strachey. So the Red Hawks to the man advantage here coming out of the break here in the second period. Want to send a couple shout outs before we begin. Number one, my grandmother Marlene in North Springfield, Vermont, tuned in. Listens to more Red Hawk Radio broadcasts than anybody else on the planet. Say hello to her. And our good friend, or my good friend, Brett Golick, former NCHC linesman, was tuned in earlier in the broadcast. Don't know if he's still with us, but spending part of his Saturday with us here on Red Hawk Radio. So we appreciate it, Brett, and hope all is well up in the west side of Michigan. Anybody else with us tonight? Appreciate spending a part of your Saturday with us. Far circle, Red Savage sent it down low to Ryan as the Red Hawk power play gets underway.
They tried that same play that CC scored on. Colorado College is ready.
So in behind the net, Reichwist is with it. 1:40 left, Red Hawk power play. They trail 1-0, Miami does, to Colorado College. Red Savage over the Tiger line. This is back for Barbolini. Back far corner, Red Savage. We'll try to feed it to Ryan through the middle. Kind of get off his stick of Prokop. Red gets it back far circle. Near wing now for Fletcher at the corner. Ryan Savage with it behind the net. Near circle for Fletcher. To the line, Reichwist. Fletcher now near circle. Shoots it through some traffic. Loose in front. They keep digging at it. Where's the puck? It is cleared by Prokop out of the crease. You had about 4 players down there, including the netminder, Embaracco, whacking, digging. And it was finally cleared out of danger.
Right idea there from PJ Fletcher.
Right wing Fletcher through center for the Red Hawks. Reichwist to the left wing for Waldron. Takes it over the CC line. Back to the line for Barbolini. Waldron now, far half wall with it. Kumlin to the right point for Ryan Savage. Kumlin, far circle for Waldron. Back to the line, Kumlin center point. Near circle, Fletcher will try to rip this one through the middle. Redhawks had 6 guys on the ice. And they're going to be called for. Daskus came off the bench with Dukovac on a line change. And the Redhawks were caught red-handed.
That's about as blatant as you get on a too many men.
And Joe Sullivan was right there to blow it dead.
I mean, a lot of too many men's happen when you got one guy coming on for another and the puck just gets tied up in their skates. That time the Redhawks changed 2 guys for 1 guy. And that's just easy stuff. And I mean, how many times in a game are we going to see a power play negated by another penalty by the attacking team? That's now the 3rd time, and this is now the 4th 4-on-4 we've seen.
I mean, you just, yeah.
Zach Ringers asked me before the game if the strategy changes at all on a 4-on-4, and just preemptively, and now we've had 4 4-on-4s in the game. That was pregame. So,
wow.
Announcer Jinx, this is the most 4-on-4s I've seen in a while in the game.
I might need to talk to Zach about placing some bets in Vegas if he knows that stuff. Here is a shot from the right point by Mayer that goes in on Pearson after the face-off win by the Tigers in the offensive zone. Ludwig covers it up. Kind of stuff we're talking about though, Luke. This Redhawks team got to find a way to win these games, especially at home, especially against Colorado College, and stuff like that is not going to help you.
Yeah, definitely not. And there's a point, I think, to make about some energy we saw from the Redhawks in the middle of this period. I'll give it a second before we go back to that.
CC wins the face-off, offensive zone, right point Mayer, near side Millard at the left point, shovels it down to the near corner. Cooley and Donato tie up there. In behind the Redhawk net, win the puck. Near corner is Cooley. Back in front, Gleason, the shot. Nice left pad save by Pearson. And as CC returns Staraki to the ice, so it's going to be a power play upcoming here for the Tigers with the Redhawk. Too many men call for the next minute 22. This one cleared out by the Redhawks. A feed by Cooley went off the stick of Daskus back down the ice. Lucky clear for Miami. Will get a full 4-man PK change. 1:10 to go in the CC power play. Yoon drops it back. Right side with it here is McCown over the Redhawk line on the right wing. Vermutton sent this one to the near corner. Robbed there by Yoon. Left point for CC. Walks it toward the middle of the blue line. Beck near circle. Back for Yoon. Top the far circle. McCown. The shot. Nice save was made there off the leg. Or a block, I should say, off the leg of Moulton in the far circle. Back it goes into CC zone. Beck center circle, right wing feed for Veremia. They were offside over the Redhawk line right side. Kicked back to center was the puck. Yoon back with it for CC. So 30 seconds to go on the power play, a minute to go in the second. Near corner with it is Yoon, back to the line it goes. Here's McCown, near circle, a shot off the goalpost. He ripped a laser off the near pipe. Far corner with it, Vermutton. CC closing it on the net. 14 to go on the power play. Yoon, very high slot. Near circle, McCown. Back for Yoon. Far circle. Back a drive. Big rebound off the left pad of Pearson. Nice score. It was cleaned up in the near circle by McCown. And the too many men call comes back and bites the Redhawks. CC scores with 6 seconds left in the power play. 36.4 to go in the second. And the Tigers double the lead to 2-0.
It's just a bouncing puck type of play where you get caught on the penalty kill with too many guys on the front side. And, you know, a puck just gets ripped in. It bounces to the backside. Miami had 3 guys on the strong side of the ice, 1 guy back on the weak side. It was too high. And an open net. Ludwig Pearson did his best to throw a leg at it. Nearly got it. But instead, that one was shelved. Colorado College now up 2-0.
With 30 seconds to go here in the second period, McCown on the power play. Beck and Yoon will grab the assist for CC. 19:24 into the second. Thrown far corner. Here's Christie for CC at the far half wall. Walks it back to the right point. Shot there. Nice blocker saved by Pearson that came off the stick of Millar. 10 to go in the period. Redhawks on the Tiger line on the right wing. Christie dishes back to the near corner for Millar. Now Foley with it for the Tigers. Up left wing for Middleton. Banks it off the boards to center. That does it for period number 2. All right. So the Tigers double their lead here in the frame. They take the 2-0 advantage very late on the power play goal by Hunter McCown.
7th power play goal of the year, by the way.
Which leads the nation
Yep.
in power play goals.
And he scored all his goals in the power play.
Yeah.
He does not have an even strength goal this season.
Yeah. So we will go to the locker room with the Redhawks down 2-0. And Luke, at the end of the day, we keep beating the dead horse here. Redhawks got to find that next gear, turn the dial up, do something.
Yeah, it was another period that was exactly the same as the first. You know, it's an old hockey cliche that you don't want to ever give up goals in the first and last minute of a period, which is exactly what the Redhawks did. And going down 2 into the third, the second intermission, I should say, going into the third is a lot more back-breaking, it feels like, than just going down 1. Shots are even. They were in your favor until the late part of that period when CC was able to get some shots on the power play, but it was a miscue for the Redhawks. It was just a mental mistake that they made where, you know, you kind of get caught sleeping in a game that has really been filled with those types of errors. You know, you're not really super focused. There's not something where you're up on the edge of your seat and you're really locked into the game. You have 2 guys change for 1. You lose the power play, which is bad enough, and then you get scored on the penalty kill that ended up resulting. And yeah, just one of those games that we talked about in the first intermission. Can you score on your couple scoring chances? I thought Colorado College really only had probably 2 or 3 chances. They had the post that was on that power play. Then they scored later on in the power play. I thought Miami had about 3 really good chances. I thought they controlled play probably for about 10 to 12 minutes of that period where they had some good looks in front of the net, and they just shot it right into Mbarako's chest. I mean, they really didn't make it difficult on him in terms of where they were shooting the puck. And yeah, I mean, they just didn't convert on their couple opportunities unless this game magically opens up in the final period of the weekend, although it has not through the first 5. You're only going to get probably 2 or 3 chances in that third. You're going to have to be near perfect if you're going to want to tie this game.
2-0 to score after 40 minutes. Zach Rangers, time for the intermission report. We'll send it over to you.
Thank you, Patrick and Luke. Once again, same old for Miami. Just an underwhelming performance in another period. There was a time in that second period where it felt like the energy had been turned up a little bit. But when you're talking about comparing periods here and saying the second period had more energy, that's like similar to comparing your reading style as an 8th grader to those of a kindergartner. It's obviously going to improve a little bit because there was no real energy in that first period, and much of the same in the second period. Luke Poley said it the best, just a mental mistake that cannot happen, and you find yourself down 2 goals. You sub 2 guys on the ice for 1 guy. That math doesn't add up, and you're going to find yourself with 6 guys on the ice when you only should have 5. So nonetheless, a less than impressive second period here, and then you come back and, like Luke said, it's something you never see before where you have so many 4-on-4s. We've had 4 of them now, and multiple times we have seen the attacking team, when they're in the power play, give up the power play right away by committing another penalty. It's just stuff that you don't really see. Disciplined teams wouldn't let it happen, but we've got 2 teams here that, let's be completely honest, discipline isn't one of the things that jumps off the page at you when you look at these 2 teams by numbers by any standpoint, and that's really shown in this game. So we've had 4 4-on-4s. At the end of the second period there, we just see Miami loses focus one more time, and a guy that's having a really nice year for Colorado College and Hunter McCown picks up his 7th power play goal. Like they said on the broadcast, that's good for 1st in the nation, and that guy just has a knack for finding the net when his team is on the power play, and he showed it there, kind of gave the business to the Miami fans standing on the boards right in front of him. Him and his teammates celebrated right in front of the makeshift student section for Miami University, and they earned it on that one. Certainly was a less than impressive end to that second period. Looking at some of the stats for these 2 squads, obviously not what you're going to like if you're a Miami fan. 2 goals to none. Obviously our score after 2 periods. Both of the goals have been man up for Colorado College. They've got 4 assists to Miami's 0. Shots on goal evening up a little bit. 21 shots on goal for the Tigers to the RedHawks 20. 34 shots overall to 33 shots for Miami. We heard Patrick mention at one point in that second quarter that had actually flipped in terms of who was leading it. It was leading for Miami RedHawks at one point, and then you give up all those shots at the end, and it's no wonder that they were able to find the goal finally for Colorado College. It just felt like it was a matter of time with how many shots they were getting off, and that's exactly what happened, where they were shooting at a high clip, and eventually they found the goal. So we find ourselves at 34 shots to 33 in favor of the Tigers after the second period. Power play goals, both of which for the Tigers have been on the power play, so that's 2-0. They are 2 for 4 on the power play, and Miami is 0 for 4 on the power play. Like we heard Patrick talk about on the broadcast, the power play attack for the RedHawks has been less than impressive for a long while now. It certainly felt like today might have been the day that they straightened it out. Not to be to this point. They've had a couple good looks, and they've been able to get some nice shots on goal, but Mbreco has just been a rock in the goal and has not let anything get past him. And it certainly just feels like Miami is fighting an uphill battle in terms of trying to get in the scoring column right now, because Mbreco is playing such a good game in goal. And that's what you're going to get from one of the top goalies in the NCHC in Mbreco. He's just played a great year, and he's showing it. He's showing why he's one of the best in goal today for the Tigers. Both teams have 5 penalties, and right now the face-offs are actually being won by Miami at 18-17. Obviously, like we said, it's a 2-0 game between Colorado and Miami. The 2 goals have come from Coffey in the first and McCown in the second, still awaiting third period action. And it just feels like even if you're not able to pull out a tie or a win in this game, you just want to see some type of improvement from Miami. They've come out flat in both periods at one point or another. They've had mental mistakes all day long. They've killed power plays when they shouldn't do it. And it's really been rough to watch, because you know what this team can do if they play at their fullest ability. They just have yet to do that this year, and it just feels like a matter of time before they eventually figure it out, pull it together. Coach Bergeron working with these guys, trying to get them ready to go, but it's just been an uphill battle, like we've said multiple times, and they have not been able to get it past some of these goalies in the NCHC, and that's really what it boils down to. They have struggled to score, they've struggled to assist, and that's really been the main issue for Miami. They're going to look to change that in the third period. We're going to take a quick break here on the Intermission Report. We'll get back with scoreboard segment here in just a moment. Stay with us here on Red Hawk Radio. And we're back here on Red Hawk Radio, our intermission report here between the second and third period. Time for our scoreboard segment. Looking at Atlantic hockey, we talked about Canisius pulling off the upset over American International earlier. Big game for Canisius, nice win for them. RIT and Sacred Heart, RIT leads 2-1 at the end of 2 periods there. RIT coming into that game 9-2, pretty nice year that they're having at RIT. Once again, Bentley and Air Force kicking off at 8 o'clock Mountain Time. Should be a fun game there between the Air Force Falcons, who come into that one 5-5-1, and Bentley, who comes in 3-7-0. Bemidji State tied with Northern Michigan at the end of 1-1 the score there. Michigan Tech over Lake Superior right now at the end of 1. That is a 1-1 score. And once again, St. Thomas taking on Bowling Green at 7 o'clock Eastern time. All these games should be just about set to go, and the ECAC will go through them real quick. Princeton taking on Brown at 7 o'clock. Cornell taking on Clarkson. Colgate taking on St. Lawrence. Harvard taking on Union, Quinnipiac taking on Yale, Dartmouth taking on RPI. So a lot of action about to get set in the ECAC. Should be fun to watch some of those games, see how some of those unfold. In Hockey East, we talked about it, the tie that was an absolute barn burner between Connecticut and Providence, 6-6. The score there, huge game for those two teams. Obviously a lot of fun to see a high-scoring matchup between a Connecticut team that comes in that one, that leaves that one, 9-1-2. Providence coming in at 6-2-2, so a very nice matchup between two really good teams. That one should have been a lot of fun to watch. Northeastern taking on Boston College in about 20 minutes. Massachusetts taking on Boston University at the same time. Maine taking on Merrimack at the same time, and the Catamounts of Vermont taking on New Hampshire. In the NCHC, obviously, our game is at 2-0 in favor of Colorado College at the end of the second period. We're just about set for third period action. Western Michigan taking on St. Cloud State. That game in about 20 minutes, going to be puck drop there. Omaha taking on Minnesota Duluth at the same time, as well as Denver and North Dakota. So by the time that our game ends, the other 3 games in the NCHC will be in full force, so a lot to look forward to if you're looking around the conference. A lot of games that could help out with the point standings, see teams move up, down, all around. It should be fun to see how those games affect the standings. In the Big Ten, Michigan with an early lead over Notre Dame, 2-0 at the end of the first period. That was one of the games we were kind of circling, saying that one's going to be fun to watch. Alaska Anchorage taking on Arizona State at 7 o'clock Mountain Time, so still a little bit before that one drops puck. And LIU taking on Wisconsin at 7 o'clock Central Time. And our only exhibition of the game, Mercyhurst dropped one 5-1 against Ferris State. So once again, Miami going to go back to the drawing board. They're just about set here at Steve Cady Arena, looking to put some points on the board, change something up. Something's got to give for the RedHawks, because it has looked rough to this point. They're down 2-0, headed into the third period. We're just about set. Team's about to take the ice for the final period of this one from the Goggin Ice Center. I'm going to turn it back over to your broadcast crew. Luke and Patrick will take you through the third period.
Zach, you caught me with a La Rosa's breadstick half in my mouth. Thank you. 2-0 CC over Miami. Luke, as the RedHawks.
I tried to signal for you,
No,
Patrick,
I'm sorry, it's fine. It's not as bad as the Columbus Cannon.
It is, that is true.
As the RedHawks take the ice here, I mean, what do you say in the locker room?
I mean, I really don't know, to be honest. The coaches know what to say. They've been in games like this. There's, not very many games that you're going to be in as a coach at a Division I level where you haven't experienced something like it before. So I'm sure there's something for Chris Bergeron to be said in that locker room. But, I mean, it's just tough. That second period, I mean, you were there. If you really broke down that second period entirely. I thought Miami was the better team, not by much, but I probably thought they were the better team for maybe 11 out of 20 minutes. I really didn't think they were much better. I thought they were slightly better, though, than CC was, but CC more opportunistic. They got that second goal. Now you got to dig yourself out of a hole here if you're Miami. They're going to start a different lineup. They're going to move Daskis up to play with Barbolini and Dukovac. And so maybe some line shuffling, something we'll see on the RedHawks side to try and spur up some energy.
That'd be nice. RedHawks move right to left across your radio here in period number 3. The faceoff is sent back into the RedHawks zone. Dukovac on the far wing would try to play it toward the middle of the ice. Club down there by Moulton. And here's Ryquist near side of the center ice, so we'll bank this one back for Moulton in his own zone. RedHawks will try to get out of their own end here. Left wing feed for Barbolini, and CC was in a full 5-man change. Right wing, room to skate. Ryquist scores! A snipe from Hampus Ryquist. He got a feed, top of the far circle. Just ripped a wrist shot on net. It was a laser beam that went over the glove side of Mbareko in the top right corner of the CC net. And with 19:24 to go in the third, it's a lead cut in half for the Tigers. 2-1, CC leads it.
Yeah, this is one that Mbareko is really going to want back. CC is waiting by their bench. I think they may want to challenge this call potentially as head coach Chris Mayo has called the official over. They've got a man upstairs looking. He just talked to the officials who are now going to meet. We may see a CC challenge, but yeah, this is one that I really think Mbareko is going to want back. It was down the wing. It was a pretty hard shot by way for Miami of Hampus Ryquist. But he's got a really, really good shot. I really think he probably has more in the tank, and I think Mbareko just got caught way off his line. And Colorado College is going to challenge. This might be offside.
For offside, yeah.
Yeah, but Mbareko just got caught there way off his angle. It was a good pass by Barbolini, a good find. He got bumped at the blue line, was able to keep possession and just threw it to the far side. There was a lot of room to skate for Ryquist, and he shot it. And I just think Mbareko, in moving from his right to left, just did not know where that left post was in relation to where he was. He left a lot of room on that short side. And that was pretty easy pick there for Hampus Ryquist. We'll see if it stands. Because I mean, it didn't look like a high danger chance at all.
No.
You could kind of see it in your call. I mean, you weren't even really building anything up, and next thing you know, the puck's in the net, and not to your fault at all. It didn't really look like anything was going to happen. I mean, and that's one of those where should Mbareko be on his angle properly, if you're Ryquist, you might even want to think about not even shooting that and just carrying behind the net for possession. But instead, you got some open net to work with, and you put it in. Really tough to tell.
They're looking at a camera that's posted on the catwalk at the blue line. This is the new feature this year where they have blue line cameras in all the buildings, and it's up high.
It's a little bit off the blue line towards center ice. It's got a pretty good angle, though, and I will say there was a lot of traffic. There were two players in there for Miami in Barbolini, and I believe Dukovac was down there as well, and some players for Colorado College, and everybody just kind of met and conglomerated right around the blue line. The puck got tied up in some skates before it was pulled out by Barbolini, and that may be what CC is arguing, is that somewhere in that scrum, either the puck did not enter the zone as fluidly as we initially thought, or the puck may have left the zone.
So they're looking at it, both referees in the penalty box below us. That is Joe Sullivan and Riley Yurkovich.
And this is something where, you know, it's constantly adapting in college hockey, but now most teams have guys, their operations director oftentimes sit up high, and they've got a monitor, and they wear an earpiece where they can kind of radio down to the coaches and tell them when to challenge,
right,
which of course has existed in professional hockey now for many years, and it's sort of made its way into the college game.
Yep.
They may have seen something upstairs that warranted that challenge. CC just kind of conglomerated around their bench after that goal was scored. It's really, really close. They're looking at it for a long time, and now it looks like we're about to get our call.
Headsets are off, helmets are back on. They had Eric Franken on the box too, looking at the call. The linesman who made it. So we'll hear from Joe Sullivan. Well, I think you can tell by the crowd sound that the goal stands, and their score is 2-1. 36 seconds into period number 3.
Yeah, and it's you know, a good challenge by Colorado College on a close play. If you're really probably able to take the air out of this building when Miami finally gets their first burst of energy, if you're able to take it away with that challenge. Chris Mayo now still talking with the officials, so you can understand why the challenge was made. Especially because, you know, there's a very good chance you're not going to have to use it again. But fortunately for the RedHawks, it'll stand.
Clean win back for the RedHawks over the Tiger line on the right wing. They'll play it. CC back with it in their own zone. We'll flip this one up the right wing as it goes in the near corner of the RedHawk zone after the stick of Gleason. So the goal scored by Reichwitz, Barbolini, and Moulton get assists on it. 36 seconds into the third period. RedHawks over the Tiger line here on the left wing. Back for Drasner in his own zone. He'll grab it for the RedHawks. Left wing feed through center ice. Chipped off the stick of Taransky in toward the Tiger net. This be actually an icing. As Taransky touched the puck, I guess ahead of the red line or just enough of it. So the face-off will be to Pearson's left coming up. 18:48 to go in the third. In a 2-1 game, and this building has more life than it has all weekend.
Yeah, huge goal for the RedHawks. Big goal also for Hampus Reichwitz to get his first of the year. He's gotten a couple tipped pucks that haven't gotten him on the score sheet in the goal column. He's got a great shot, though.
One back to the near corner RedHawks zone and behind the net. Drasner locks up there with Mayon. There's a shot wide to the far side by Cooley. Sent around the boards in behind the net. Here's Drasner with it for the RedHawks. Locked up there against the end wall with Chorsky. Far corner, Kuhlman banks it off the boards down the ice. Andrews is there, flipped it over the RedHawk line left wing. Pearson behind the net, leaves it for Drasner. Right wing play for Clement. Near wing feed, Barbolini. Left side will dump it over the Tiger line and behind the cage. And Barreco will play it around the boards to the near corner for Barbolini. He's got it. It's near circle, waits, shoots. And Barreco makes the stop with his chest. 18:05 is left in the third.
And Embereco right now looks to just kind of be overcompensating a little bit, and I think that's where Barbolini tried to catch him. RedHawks haven't been able to move the puck back and forth a lot in the offensive zone, but when they have, I've really noticed Embereco's been sliding a lot, and I think they're just trying to catch him out of the net. That time, Barbolini just tried to beat him off his angle again, as Reichwitz did just a moment ago on the short side.
Toronto's right coming up. Waldron with it with Prokop. Clean win CC. Here's Christie. Rink wide to the left wing. Middleton spins it around the boards to the near half wall. Christie reinforces the puck back around to the far corner. Toronto is with it as Ryan Savage chips it up back to center. Foley near wing Millar for CC, who skates it through center ice. Chips it over the RedHawk line on the right wing. Pearson let it go to the far corner of the net. Donato will pick it up. Now it's Prokop, right point, Strachey, offensive zone, CC, they're working in front, and it came in on Pearson, kind of a tic-tac-toe play that never really quite came together. For Mutton had a final chance, but he sent it wide of Pearson from the near post.
Well, Veremyev had a wide open net there, just couldn't elevate the puck.
Far side, this one goes in the CC bench on a wrap around the boards by Christie, and then Olmstead decides to give a shove to Veremyev.
Put Olmstead in the lineup. It's interesting because I thought the guy he came in for, Brian Silver, probably had his best game of the year last night. We saw that in opening weekend as well with a couple of the freshmen who played really good games and then were promptly taken out of the lineup.
Yeah.
Chris Bergeron talked about it when you just got so many guys that you got to work in, Jack Olmstead being one of them.
RedHawks work it up the right wing, put it into the far corner of their zone. Reichwitz lifts it all the way down the ice for an icing here. Passed it down the field, but there was only the safeties down there to get it, no receivers. And it was 17:04 to go in the third. A draw to the left of Pearson is coming up in a 2-1 game led by CC. Game 2 of the series here tonight. RedHawks go to North Dakota next weekend to the Ralph. CC is going to go back home, play the 4th-ranked team in the nation this week. That is the St. Cloud State Huskies. Olmstead lifts it over the Tiger line here on the right wing, back to the near half wall of the zone. Messenberg sent it around the boards to the right point. Ryquist cannot keep it in the zone. Right point of the RedHawks. Bouncing puck hopped over his stick. New near wing from McCown, plays it over the RedHawk line to the near corner, where it's chased down by McCown. Sends it up. Messenberg there, had it picked away by Coffey. Now it's Moulton, near wing Messenberg. Played forward, Dukovac over the Tiger line on the left wing. Foley quickly to it near corner for CC. Around the boards it goes for Coffey. Skates it ahead. Made it forward for Jarasner, who lifts this one over the Tiger line on the right wing. It'll be an icing.
Dukovac swinging his stick, got kind of crossed up by that pass up ahead. Practically threw it at the CC bench.
Strasser was trying to hit Dukovac in the feet there, but Dukovac, yeah.
I mean, if he's a right-handed shot, he gets that. Yep. Probably goes on a rush chance the other way. And did you really think, Patrick, that a goal in this game would open it up at all?
No.
It's just been icings galore ever since.
Toronto left to Pearson coming up, 16-15 to go in the 3rd. Near circle, they tie up for it. Kumlin spins it around the boards to the far half wall. Dukovac can't get it out for the RedHawks. Left point sent back in the zone by Chorsky. Here comes Miami as they turn it over. Barmelini over the Tiger line here on the left wing, try to flip it ahead to the net. Mayer there to steal away a shot that went wide to the near side. Back to center it goes. Kumlin for the RedHawks in his own zone. Near wing will scan it towards center ice, turned over. Chorsky rushed the other way over the RedHawk line, right wing. He got tripped up by Jarasner, and that'll give the Tigers a power play here. They'll take it out back to center, and Baruch goes off the ice. He will be replaced by McCown, the extra man, on this delayed penalty against the RedHawks. Far corner is Andrews. Forechecked by Taransky. RedHawks still can't touch it up. Loose puck far corner. And Joey Cassetti will skate hard to end the play. Robbie Jarasner 2 minutes for tripping with 15:23 to go in the 3rd.
Pretty cut and dry.
Yep.
Great move made offensively. CC had a rush. Axel Kumlin just tried to force that puck up the wall, and that's another area where the RedHawks really have not gotten past this tough core for Colorado College. Every time we've seen Miami's defensemen try to skate the puck up the ice, they get pushed outside, and we've seen them a couple times try to force that puck up the wall, and it's really just not getting through right now. That time it was Axel Kumlin who was the victim. Turned it over. It was a 2-on-1 the other way that I thought Drasner defended pretty well until that move was made, and then he just tripped his man.
Face-off to the left of Pearson. Cassetti works it back to the near corner on a face-off win, and Clement off the glass all the way down the ice, and Baracco there will stop it. Penalty trouble continuing this weekend for the RedHawks. It's been a big part of the storylines last few weekends. Lob over the RedHawk line here on the left wing for CC. Locked up against the far half wall boards with 25 seconds gone by in the power play. Work back to the line for Yoon. Left point now with it is Beck. Yoon center point. Far point with it now McCown. Off the boards for Yoon, left point for CC. Near circle back to the middle. Shot lob. A nice save by Pearson with the right pad. Goes to the far half wall. McCown there was tied up. Now it's Clement. Let it go. But he turned it over. It was sent back around the boards by Veremyev. Right point with it is Yoon. Center point now Beck, and he'll lose it, and Fletcher will spin it back down the ice for the RedHawks on a clear with a minute to go in the power play for CC. 4-man PK change for the RedHawks. Behind his net with it here is Chase Foley for the Tigers. Left wing feed over for Gleason over the RedHawk line. Gives it back on the far circle there for Coffey. We'll send it wide of the net, far side. Andrews right point, lifts it down low, cooling around the boards, behind the cage, Donato. In the far corner, lifts it up the right wing. Shut down there by Coffey, back to center goes Andrews. Near side, Foley over the RedHawk line here in the right wing, the near corner. Takes it back for Cooley. Poley around the boards to the right point. Andrews has it here with 20 seconds to go in the power play. Foley near half wall for CC. Cooley spins it around the boards to the far side for Gleason. Room on the far half wall. Gleason now far circle. Top the near circle. Foley shot off the post. Rebound is loose in front. And the RedHawks will clear it. That'll do it for the penalty. Terastra a free man. And the RedHawks with a big kill. 13-18 to go in the third. 2-1 the lead for the Tigers. CC out of their own zone. Here's Prokop. Little rush the other way. Rink wide off the skate of Causey with the feed. Far corner, Reichwitz picks it up off the boards. Olmstead up ahead on the right wing. Got room to skate over the Tiger line on the right wing. Olmstead backhand play. Little shot on net. Good right back save. Baracco. Kumlet far circle. A rip over the top left corner of the net. Off the glass back to center it goes. Here's Reichwitz. Right wing feed for Ryan Savage through the center circle. Over the Tiger line here on the left wing. Ryan Savage here in the near corner. Hits the brakes. Dishes back to the line. Kumlet. Right point, Reichwitz picks it up off the boards, skates down toward the far circle. Reichwitz to the net, never quite got a shot off. Back to the line, Kumlet a drive, black down in front. Tigers clear the crease. Cooley gets it out back to center. That's all he got. Waldron chips it back in the Tigers zone. 5-man RedHawk change, and the Tigers here will lift it off the stick of Mayer into the RedHawk zone near corner. Dempsey back to get it for Miami. 12-12 to go, third period. Geshan with it here through the center circle. Right wing feed Duke back over the Tiger line. Foley around the boards behind the net. Taransky with it here, chips it forward, bouncing puck in front. As this one just kind of got caught up in sticks and skates in a scrum in the middle of the ice. Got knocked to the near corner, the far corner rather, in the CC zone. Foley gets it there. Far side feed for Millard. Right wing pass, Cooley had to go off the linesman. That was Troy Merritt who deflected it. Lucky bounce gives the puck back to the RedHawks. Dempsey out of his own zone, left wing, feeds it forward off the stick of Cassetti, in on net. CC will stop it in their own zone, as behind the net with it is Jack Millard. Left wing feed get picked off. Messenberg over the Tiger line on the right wing for the RedHawks. He gets stick checked from behind there by Veremyev. Goes to your corner RedHawk offensive zone. Fletcher back to the line, Moulton. Right point, Terasner shoots it off a leg in front, I think, and deflected to the near corner. Tigers pick it up there. Gleason off glass, pops in the air. Advanced ahead by Veremyev. Moulton sends it back for Terasner in his own zone. Moulton here in the near circle. Kieran Giallo left wing feed over the Tiger line on the left wing. Goes in behind the Tiger net, and Andrews crouches in with him. Now Messenberg back to the right point. Terasner let it go out. Out of the zone and hopped over his stick over the line, went out to the neutral zone, and with 10:52 to go, RedHawks catch an unlucky bounce there. We get immediate timeout in the third period with CC up 2-1 on Miami. We're back in a moment to Oxford. This is Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. .10:52 to go, third period, 2-1 Colorado College over Miami. Patrick Geshan, Luke West Poley back with you high above the ice. Zach Brenger's with us tonight as well. He's going to face off at his timeout on the CC left wing closest to their blue line. Yeah, the team that was finished, or picked to finish 6th in the NCHC preseason poll playing in this game, and the Tigers. And a Red Hawk team that was finished, or picked to finish 8th on the ice this weekend. Two teams have been at the bottom of the standings over the last few years, last many years. CC with the puck here on the far side of center ice. Middleton gets stolen away there by Dukovac. Good job on defense for Max. RedHawks with it back in their own zone. Here's Kumlin. Skating backwards, feeds right wing for Ryquist. Up ahead, Dukovac shovels over the Tiger line right wing, and Barreto spinning around the boards to the near corner. Prokop there gets tied up by Messenberg, and then a little battle ensues. Back to the line, Kumlin, right point, Ryquist shoots it. Nice pad save, and Barreto with the left leg will cover it as he kind of popped away and then came back. Clock stopped, 10:09 left in period number 3 in a 2-1 game led by CC.
RedHawks are starting to ratchet up a little bit. You can tell they're pressing a little more in the offensive zone. They're taking the shots lead. They're getting some scoring chances. There have been a couple of tip pucks from the point that have been very, very close as of late. At Colorado College, they've been bringing guys down low all weekend defensively, and that's what's kind of giving the RedHawks so much trouble, is they're not really able to get a lot net front. But I think the RedHawks are starting to figure it out. You're seeing them use their defensemen a little more here on offense. It looks like actually they got 4 forwards, or rather they got Robbie Drasner lined up as a wing on this faceoff.
Yeah, you're right. Shot came in from Fletcher at the top of the circle. He got the face-off, went for Cassetti. Fletcher sent it right to the breadbasket of the goaltender in Barreto. Yeah, you got 2 defensemen out there.
Yeah, they're going to change the look now and drop Drasner back. That look, though, with the forward lined up directly behind the face-off dot, has now generated 3 shots for Miami. 2 of them came earlier on in the game from Thomas Daskis.
Yep. Lean went back to the right point. Moulton sends it far corner. Foley around the boards to the near side. Fletcher first to it for the RedHawks. He's trying to dig the spot free in a battle. He will. Left point now, Drasner. Near circle, walks it in. The shot, rebound in front. It was a backhand by Cassetti. He could not get it past. And Barreto made the left shoulder save, and it pops out back to center. Really good chance there. Far side RedHawks in their own zone of the puck. Here's Taransky. Near side Moulton. Off the left wing. Back for Drasner. Gets the center ice, dumps it in. Around the boards near side CC zone. RedHawks full 5-man change. Foley works it up the right wing. Causey over the RedHawk line, got hit hard. Now Clement with the puck for the RedHawks near corner of his own zone. Flips it up to the near wing. Yoon puts it back in behind the RedHawk cage. Dempsey's with it here to the near corner for Clement. Skates it up to center ice. Rink wide feed to the right side for Ryan Savin. Spins it around the glass to the near corner. Yoon playing it forward for Barbolini. Now a battle for it near corner of the CC zone as Gleason and Clement will tie up. Waldron to the line. Barbolini slides it over right point. Dempsey stick check back out to center off the stick of Beck. RedHawks chase it down in their own zone. Here's Clement. Around the boards to the far side there for Beck. Now McCown playing it in front. Barbolini with it there. He gets stolen away by Gleason for a moment. Puck sent to the near side of the RedHawks zone. He had Dempsey take a golf swing at it, trying to get it out from the zone. Never did. He missed it. And it's played ahead of Barbolini, who dumps over the Tiger line left wing. RedHawks full 5-man change with Strachey back to get it into CC zone. They'll just wait behind the net. Olmstead applying the pressure from in front of the CC cage with Strachey feeding left wing now for a pass to Mayer. It's tipped forward off the stick of Veremyev in behind the RedHawk net. Taken away by Laba. Strong forecheck. Playing it to the middle. Olmstead picks off the feed. RedHawks rush the other way over the Tiger line left wing. Here's Kieran Giallo. Here's circle to the near corner. Gets shoved off there by Foley. Olmstead hit hard by Millar. Now it squirts up near wing. Here come the Tigers. Danny Wade up the right wing over the RedHawk line. Right wing dumps it in. Here's Pearson to the near corner. Kumlin. 7.5 to go in the third. It's a 2-1 lead for CC. And this one will be set by Ryquist up the right wing. Barbolini chips it with a stick into the Tiger bench. And that'll give us immediate timeout. And they'll jump around in Oxford with 7:27 left in period number 3. Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. Back in a moment. 7:27 to go in the third period. Colorado College 2, Miami 1. Center ice face-off out of our timeout. Patrick Geshan, Luke West, Poley, William high above the ice. Zach Rengers as well joining us tonight, as they are jumping around and having fun in the lower bowl of Steve Cady Arena. CC wins the face-off at center. Yoon up the right wing. Will send it all the way down for an icing. Pass that hit nobody.
This has been a field position battle, Big Ten West type of football game, Patrick.
If that's how you want to describe it, sure.
It almost just seems like a battle of... It is like field position. I mean, it's just like, where can you move the next face-off further ahead towards your scoring end than the last one was? You get a neutral zone face-off, you think, let's try to generate an offensive zone face-off within the next play.
Yep. Draw to Emberek goes left. CC wins it and turns it over. Ryquist Kuhlman center point. He fanned on a slap shot. Barbolini backhand blind center. He feet in front. Nobody home to get it. Back to center. Goes off the stick of Yoon. Ryquist in his own zone. Up the right wing. Cooley got it back for CC. Dukovac in the RedHawks zone. Far corner being messed with by Cooley. RedHawks able to work it up the ice. Staskis through center. Coughed it up to Coffey. We have, again, Coffey, Chorsky, Cooley, all on the ice for CC. Coffey here in the far corner, up for Cooley. He chipped it out as Barbolini laid a hit on Coffey late in the play. Crowd liked that.
Cooley is very, or Coffey rather, very shaken up as he goes back to the bench. Goodness.
I'm telling you, Cooley,
apologies.
Cooley, Coffey, that's the next big Coffey chain. Taransky falls over with CC player in front of the benches. That was Veremyev.
If college hockey had the same level of NIL attention that college football does, that would already be a thing. I guarantee it.
Well, that's the good news, because you can open that chain. There's an idea.
There is an idea if you're in the Colorado Springs area.
Drasser chips over the Tiger line on the right wing, near corner with it. Is Strachey up ahead to center ice for Moulton. You're not going to be able to open in Denver. There's a Starbucks right by the rink. You're not going to break into that coffee demographic.
I don't know if any Pioneers fans would be willing to contribute to some Tiger coffee either.
Left point, Moulton down behind the net for Mayer. Far corner, CC lifts it out of the zone back to center ice. Drasner is in his own zone to the far corner to the near wing now for Moulton. RedHawks in their own zone. 5:18 to go. Third period. The RedHawks drill 2-1 to CC. Fletcher turned it over to Beck at the Tiger line left wing. Sent back to the RedHawks zone. Clement is on it behind the RedHawk cage. He was stripped from behind by McCown. RedHawks work it back thanks to the work of Waldron. And the Tigers trying to re-enter the zone briefly offside. And they'll blow the play dead with 5:03 left in the final frame of the game.
It's been a good series for CC on the road. They've been a great team at home this year. We talked about that, but been a solid team. You can tell, too, that this program has gotten a lot better than what they used to be. They've been building over the past couple of years. They, like Miami, probably had one of their best off seasons in a while this off season with the transfers they brought in, and their recruiting has been getting better and better as well. And this is a team that is probably going to be competitive within a couple of years, if I had to guess.
I think so. You got a really good head coach at Chris Mayotte, who's obviously experienced, former assistant with Mel Pearson at Michigan, and then he played at Union in the mid-2000s. Waldron, a shot off the left shoulder of Emberek, sent in by another RedHawk stick. Clement for the far corner was directed wide. CC will clear all the way down the ice for an icing here from the far corner. It was Beck who did that. And then you got two assistants that are experienced as well, John Lingett and Peter Menino. I don't.
Peter Menino with head coaching experience. Head coaching experience in the USHL. Yeah, great coach.
Peter was giving me looks on the bench. I was standing there at warm-ups. He was standing by their tunnel trying to make me laugh, waving to me and stuff. That's Peter for you. I mean, the guy's just, No words can describe Peter Menino. Former assistant at Miami a few years ago. Right point. Ryquist a bomb in the far circle. Olmstead blocked it down. Yoon far corner of CC. CC benches into it. They've been in it all weekend.
Yep.
McCown banks it off the glass back to center. RedHawks here over the line on the left wing. The offensive zone. Kumlin back for Karen Giallo. Near circle shoots it wide to the near side of the net. Right point Ryquist. Could not hold on to the puck in the zone. Causey comes in to get it. Over the line on the left wing. He'll chip it in behind the RedHawk net. Kumlin here out of his own zone. Skates it out. Getting a hard time by Christie. RedHawks still advancing over the Tiger line left wing. Dukovac is shot. Stick save made by Mbarucko to the near corner. Right point with it, Kumlin. Walks down the boards to the far corner. Causey messes with him. Great physical battle presence for CC in this third period. To the left point for Ryquist. Lost control of a bouncing puck. Regained it. Back behind the net it goes. Foley around the boards trying to get it out. RedHawks keep it in. Right point. Little shot came in from Ryquist. Directed by the stick of Mbarucko to the near side of the ice. Causey over the RedHawk line on the right wing. Far circle a shot. That one over the net. A bullet came off the stick of Coley. Tigers play it over the RedHawk line on the right wing. Stratke will send it into the Miami zone. Far corner picked up by Drasner. Up the right wing for Fletcher. Rink wide left side now Moulton. Back for Drasner. 3:02 to go in the third. 2-1 CC. Moulton left wing, Taransky chips it over the Tiger line here on the left side. Taransky back with it here in his own zone for the RedHawks. Right wing feed for Drasner. Near side Moulton. Another right wing feed for Drasner. He got poked between his legs by Coffey. Moulton back with through center, off the glass, around the boards to the near half wall. Strachey for Mayer, around the boards to the far corner. Gleason's on it, gets out the pitching wedge to get it to center ice. Glove down by Kumlin. Up ahead for Cassetti. Turned it over, blind backhand past the neutral zone. Gleason got a hold of it, sent it down low and behind the RedHawk net. Kumlin there to grab it. 2:15 to go in the third. RedHawks trail by a goal. Kumlin to the center of the ice for Ryquist. Over the Tiger line, he'll go on the right wing. Shooting it in. Blocker save made in the near corner by Mbarucko. CC in the far corner with a puck is Andrews. Lifts it up the left wing back to center ice. Kumlin with it here for the RedHawks. Playing it ahead Barbolini. This one deflects to the near side of the RedHawks zone. Here is Kumlin over the Tiger line left wing. Near corner will scan it toward the net. There's a little backhand shot and a nice glove save made by Mbarucko to make the stop as they were pulling Pearson from the net. So the 1:44 to go in the third, and with the RedHawks down 2-1, I believe Chris Bergeron has called a timeout.
Yeah, RedHawks starting to conglomerate.
Neither team has used their timeout yet tonight. Chris Bergeron will use his here as the RedHawks trying not to play their first 6 games of the NCHC schedule, only earning 1 point in the standings. It would have been the point last night. The RedHawks earned in the 1-1 tie. They did not win the shootout. So the RedHawks came into the game with an 0-4-1 record in the league this year, Luke, and you talked about it earlier. It's the Colorado College team. It's not as strong, we're objectively saying, as some of the other teams we're going to see at Steve Cady Arena in league play this year. And so the RedHawks really need to get some points out of this weekend against an opponent that's really not going to be the caliber of opponents they will see in the league slate this season, both on the road and at home.
Yeah, absolutely. And we kind of joked about it earlier on, but the reality is if you don't want to play Denver at Magnus Arena in the first
North
round,
Dakota and Grand Forks.
North Dakota and Grand Forks. I mean, that's the reality of this conference. Is those are probably going to be the 2 teams that you're going to have to play, at least right now. I know Duluth has been in the mix when they were winning national championships a few years ago, but the past couple of years it's been Denver and North Dakota. And so you really need to get out of that basement if you want to not have to go to one of those places. You're still probably going to be a road team just with the start they've had. I mean, it would be a near miracle with already having gone through these games to somehow earn home ice advantage in the playoffs. But if you don't want to go to probably play the best team in the country or then go to the best environment in the country, you're going to need at least to be in 5th place. And I think if the RedHawks can't find the tying goal, they're going to really be frustrated with the fact that they were probably the better team for the entirety of the third period, but they just ran out of time.
Yep. So Pearson has pulled the draw to the right of the CC goaltender here in Embaracco. Can the RedHawks do something down 2-1? Geshan, the face-off win, goes out of the zone all the way back down the ice. Kumlin with it in his own zone to the near wing for Barbolini over the Tiger line, goes cross corner, the far side. Fletcher picks it up, spins it around the boards, grabbed there by Yoon up the near wing for Gleason. He'll backhand shovel this one back to center ice. Or it's grabbed here by McCown, going toward the empty net. He was stick checked from behind for, they're going to call a penalty for hooking.
And the RedHawks are lucky. The CC bench is arguing, and they've got a case that should have been called a goal.
Yeah.
The referees are going to meet. And it looks like they're going to stick with the call. Yeah, really, really fortunate break if this indeed is just a penalty.
2 minutes for hooking, yep.
Yep.
So they're going to give it to Geshan, who came from behind, and that's just the penalty you got to take. McCown going toward the empty net, kind of all alone. He had Fletcher with him as well. Geshan did on his own side, but Geshan will get the hooking minor here, just trying to do anything he could to keep McCown from scoring.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough, but you do get a fortunate break in that you're not down 2 right now. And if you're able to get the puck deep, able to get possession, somehow you're able to pull Pearson, at least play 5-on-5, not over by any means.
So the draw to Ludwig's left, clean win ahead for Daskus. Yoon picks it up, right point for CC. Down to the near corner for Christie, who will crash it on the net with a shot and get blocked down in front. Christie chases far half wall. Barbolini steals it away. We'll throw this one forward out of the zone. They're going to wait to pull Pearson. Now they will. Nope, the RedHawks are offside. Barbolini flipped it into the zone as the RedHawks, I guess somebody jumped ahead of the puck.
Yeah,
I don't know what happened there, but they were offside in the face-off neutral.
Barbolini made his way into the zone, and he was way ahead of that puck. Barbolini chipped it in, and the RedHawks wanted a call for interference. Barbolini was probably trying to sell it, though. He chipped it by his defender and really made no effort to get around him and just kind of skated into him, looking to get the RedHawks back on the man advantage if they were able to get the 4-on-4 and pull Pearson. He's not going to get that call this late in the game.
Exactly a minute to go in period number 3. 1:40 left in the power play for CC. It's going to go the rest of regulation. 2-1, the Tigers lead it. Villar sends it back in his own zone with the puck. There is Foley up the far wing board, sent back in the RedHawk end. Kumlin first to get it, but it was stolen away by Prokop in the far corner. Prokop just holding on to the puck. Great possession, cycles down low. Reichwist all alone to get it. 36 to go in the third, and Hampus Reichwist going to send it all the way down the ice. No icing. Villar to get it. Pearson back off the ice. 6-on-5. RedHawks empty net. 27 seconds to go. Far half wall. CC with a puck in their own zone. Will send it back behind the net. Villar up the near wing boards. Right wing hits LeBall with a pass, and it goes off the post. On a shot to the empty net for the right wing of the RedHawk line. Moulton back with it in his own zone. 12 seconds left, third period. Skates it through the ice. LeBall will take it away. He'll throw it toward the empty net. Wide left. Coley beats out the icing. He'll try to slide it into the net. Could not. 1 second to go. And there is your hockey game from Oxford, Ohio tonight. 2-1, the Colorado College Tigers beat the Miami RedHawks. CC will take 5 points out of the 6 possible this weekend. And the RedHawks go 0-1-1 on the weekend. As the Tigers come in, Luke, and have a really, really good road series. Give them a lot of credit. For the RedHawks, chances galore this weekend to get goals when they had to, but they just never could convert.
Yeah, and there were some chances there for the RedHawks as the teams now shake hands, and the coaches shook hands in front of the bench, but Peter Menino's going to stay behind to meet up with some of the RedHawks that he coached a couple of years ago. And yeah, I mean, that was the story of this game. Like I kind of mentioned, coming out of that timeout for the RedHawks, they were the better team in that third period. Shots were relatively even after 2 periods of play. Miami ends up with the upper hand in that category, 35-22, and they just couldn't buy a goal in that third. They had a couple key chances. They mostly came early on in that third period before CC, I thought, really shelled up and played well. But yeah, I mean, credit to CC. This was a really, really, really quality road series that they played this weekend. A really quality road win here this evening. And you look at this league and you look at what CC did, and it's pretty evident this NCHC is a league and a conference of efficiency and opportunism. I mean, CC probably had 4 really good scoring chances the whole day, and they hit 2 posts and scored 2 goals, and that won them the game. And Miami had maybe 5 or 6, and they scored 1 goal and didn't hit the post at all. So really, the RedHawks just they weren't as efficient as they had to be with their scoring chances. In this league, the teams are all disciplined. They all are well coached. They all defend well. You're not going to get 20, 30 scoring chances in a game. It's just not going to happen. And if you're only going to score 1 goal on 35 shots, and if you're going to have wide open chances that either go right into the goaltender's chest or just miss the net, that's not going to win you hockey games. And I think that was the story here today for Miami. I thought the energy was better than it was yesterday, but you just got to score goals, and they really just have struggled to do that over the past few games, even dating back to last weekend and the weekend before in Denver as they opened up conference play.
Yep. As Dean Stork would say, not going to win you many hockey games.
Not going to win you many hockey games.
Yep. All right, so 2-1 the final. Luke, I will bring it back and break it down in just a moment. But first, Zach Ringers, over to you for the post-game show.
Thank you, Patrick and Luke. Just a minute, we'll be rejoined here, but just a quick statistical breakdown for this game. Obviously won 2 goals to 1, excuse me, for Colorado College. They had 4 assists to Miami's 2. Miami had way more shots on goal, 35 to Colorado College's 23. They had more shots at 55 to 40, and like Luke Poley said, they were the better team in the 3rd quarter, just unable to get over the hump of those early 2 goals from Colorado College. They set themselves up well. They didn't need to be the better team in the 3rd quarter. They just needed to be less of the less team, and that's exactly what they did. They just held off Miami for enough time. Obviously, both the 2 goals for Colorado College come on the power play. You can chalk one of them up as not smart mental awareness from Miami, sending 2 guys on for 1. That leads to the 2nd goal. You're down 2. You would have been headed to overtime if you didn't have that if you're Miami. And once again, a tough game to get over, but you got to get back to the grind going forward. You can't keep these games this close and expect to win them. You got to just start putting games away when you have the chance, and Miami has not taken advantage of it. It is worth noting that 3rd period did have better energy than the weekend up to this point. It seemed like Miami was getting better shots. They had a better offensive attack. They looked more comfortable on offense. They were able to keep things going when they needed to, but it still just was not enough. And that was really the story on this one. And that's really been the story to this point this year. It's just when Miami has fought, it hasn't been enough, and that's been the issue. And that's really all there is to break down. We'll bring on Patrick and Luke now to talk the rest of this game, but that was the story tonight. Just not enough from Miami. Couldn't get over the hump that they created for themselves in the first 2 periods, and the 1 goal late wasn't enough.
Yes, sir. That's the theme. Not enough. Luke, we talked about all weekend. Just you got to get the dial. You got to find the next level on the dial. You got to jack it up just a little bit more. And the RedHawks never seem to do that at all this weekend. Yeah,
there's another gear that this team has, and I think it can be frustrating, to lose games and to, it's technically not a sweep at home, but it kind of is,
yep.
And it's tough to lose like that so often, and it's a team that clearly is, in a culture where they're still trying to learn how to win those games and try to get over the hump, like you said, Patrick. But yeah, I mean, we're just seeing flashes. We mentioned it yesterday. You'll see, maybe 1 or 2 guys on the ice ever at a time have a shift that's really, really solid, and that doesn't necessarily even happen consistently. Maybe every few minutes or so, you'll have a guy jump on the ice for the RedHawks that you'll think had a really good shift, but it's never just a 5-man unit that feels really locked in and really energized. I don't think we really saw that all this weekend, and really last weekend in the series against Western Michigan either. Just really an all-out flat performance last week. I mean, I think if you look at the last 4 games, the RedHawks have gotten better with each one, but like you said, I mean, there's still a hill in front of them that they're yet to climb, and you can get closer and closer to that, but if you're not going to climb over that hump, then you're not going to win games. And I think for the RedHawks, that's just still something that they're trying to learn how to do and trying to, they're just trying to win. But I think it can be difficult in situations like this, and we've seen it in years past, to have things like this spiral out of control and just to feel really down and really frustrated. But I think if the RedHawks do have one thing to hang their hat on in terms of looking forward towards the rest of this season, you know, if you just look at the results, you start to compare this to years past and how they kind of piled up in terms of losing streaks in conference play. But if you really look at the makeup of this team, they are leaps and bounds more talented than how they've been over the past couple of years. I think that's pretty clear. They're still learning how to win those games, and the results are the same. But I think for Miami, there's so much untapped potential of this team that I really don't think we've seen in years past, where this team can really be a lot better. It's just they haven't quite got there yet.
Zach, we talked a little bit about, too, the penalty trouble has been a big part for the RedHawks' struggles over the last couple of weeks, and a RedHawk team that, you know, wasn't really 100% disciplined this weekend either. That can be a factor as well. And you know, they just didn't seem to be together at a lot of different points in the game as a team, kind of like Luke said.
Yeah, and that's a perfect analysis of it. You can't have as much penalty trouble as they have. Not only are they making mental mistakes like subbing 2 guys on for 1, just elementary stuff that shouldn't happen, and that in itself is all focus. But when you're killing your own power play multiple times in a night, you can't win games doing that.
That's a good point.
I'm not a hockey expert by any stretch of the imagination, but when you got 5-on-4 and you just squander that opportunity, that's not good.
Yeah.
And that just can't happen. There were a couple fouls tonight that you can probably avoid, but at the end of the day, it's just got to be a cleaner effort all around. It can't continually be we're trying to kill power plays as opposed to being on the attack. They've got to find a way to keep all 5 of their guys on the ice more often and try to play a complete period without being down a man for the majority of it.
Yeah, and I think to both of your points, we tend to look big picture a lot of the time just because that's, you know, kind of how things are. We look at scoreboards, we look at results, we look at all sorts of those things. But again, kind of looking back on some older teams versus some teams now, you look back on why those older teams are losing, and they just look 100% outmatched on the ice. And I think this year you look at why they're losing, and you know, they've lost a similar amount of games to start off NCHC play, but it's a different type of loss. It's not getting circle skated around you from a talent standpoint. But I mean, look at the stats of some of the things that they've done. They are one of the most penalized teams in the NCAA. They don't score on their own power plays. They get dominated on faceoffs. I mean, they're just these really small details that we tend to miss when you just look big picture all the time. Yeah. But it's a team that has a tremendous amount of talent that it seems like they're just missing all these little small things. They seem to really be adding up because the results are not there for the RedHawks in terms of winning games. But yeah, I mean, they don't win faceoffs, they don't score on the power play, and they take a lot of penalties. That's just, those are basic things that coaches tend to harp on when it comes to their team and looking at the stat sheet and how they can improve. And for the RedHawks, there's been no sign that has, you know, gotten better over the course of the season. But I'm sure at some point the coaching staff is going to make a really concerted effort to try to turn those things around. Because, I mean, you can work on face-offs, but I think the really big thing that sticks out to me is most notably those penalties. Just, they have to stop. And they're not good penalties either. They're that penalty at the end of the game that, you know, Joey Cassetti took to prevent the empty net goal, you can live with that. But some of the other penalties, you look at the too many men call earlier on, you look at the hit earlier in the first period, even looking at some older games, you had the penalty like the one that John Waldron took in the game against Denver that really deflated the RedHawks when he played the puck before he stepped out of the penalty box onto the ice. They're just really big mental mistake type of penalties that aren't really helping your team in the moment. They're just kind of hurting you in the sense that they don't need to be made to prevent a goal, and then you have to play shorthanded. I think that's something that the RedHawks have really struggled with here this season, and that's got to change moving forward.
That's true, and Zach, got to give Colorado College a lot of credit. Came in here, obviously not the most talented team in the league, but they fought and scrapped and found a way to win. Their bench was engaged in each game the entire night for both nights this weekend. A team that came in here and just put their best shot out there. They threw everything at the wall. They saw what stuck, and what stuck was enough to get 5 of the 6 points in the standings this weekend.
Yeah, and that's the key there, is that they don't have to be the best team in the league. They just had to be better than Miami this weekend, and that's what it was. And one obviously we talk about some of the intricacies of the game, and obviously this is a Colorado College team that's not the best by any stretch of the imagination when you look across this league. They definitely are at a disadvantage at times, but they're able to crawl tooth and nail and just fight it out. And one thing that I've found true around every sport that I've ever covered and played, if you can take advantage of the other team's mistakes, you're going to win the game, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, volleyball. You go down the list, it's always the case. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
When did they score their 2 goals? They were man up on the power play. They never needed to score a goal where they were 5-on-5 because they were able to take advantage of those mistakes. And when you do that you're usually going to find yourself on the successful end of a game, and that's exactly what they did here today at Goggin Ice Center.
That's a really, really good point. Final thoughts, both of you.
Yeah, I think to Zach's point in terms of Colorado College, they're a team that really rides by that mantra of win 5-on-4, be even at even strength, and when you're down a man and you're going to win a lot. And I thought Colorado College was really good this weekend. They were outshot in this game, and they outshot Miami yesterday, but I think one part of the game that we haven't talked about as much, they were fantastic defensively the whole weekend. You tend to say that the best defense is offense and that a team's not quote-unquote playing well if they're spending a lot of time in their defensive zone. But the thing about Colorado College is when they were in their defensive zone, I mean, Miami was just not generating anything. Colorado College was really, really strong defensively this weekend, and I think they're a team that might be able to upset some other squads in NCHC play, and certainly a team that's trending on the upswing. And on the Miami side of things, you just got to get over that hump. We've said it over and over and over again. It's going to be really difficult next week in North Dakota at the Ralph, the toughest environment in college hockey. And if you can steal a game there, you'd be very happy coming out with a split, I think. I think one place where you really, really point towards in terms of maybe a season-defining stretch for the RedHawks is going to be that 6-game homestand starting on Thanksgiving weekend. They've got a couple games against Michigan State, then they host St. Cloud in the middle, and then 2 games against Niagara on New Year's, an Atlantic hockey opponent that you need to beat twice. And we talked about that before the Canisius series. I think that's a really big stretch for the RedHawks coming up following that North Dakota series next weekend, which is going to be really, really tough.
Yep.
Yeah, I think both these teams are on the up and up right now. Obviously, these are 2 teams that, like one of you guys said earlier in the broadcast, they've kind of been in the basement of the NCHC for a while now. I think Colorado College, they feel really, really good coming out of here with a win and a tie, taking 5 out of the 6 points. That's huge for them. They're going to really see themselves up on the chart for the NCHC. And if you're Miami, like we said, this is a team that's trending upwards. I think we can all agree that the play today, especially in that third period versus the play that we saw a few weeks ago against Denver, is not really comparable. They're playing a lot better. Now, granted, you have to take that with a grain of salt because you're going to play a little bit worse when you got guys like Missouri on the ice with you from Denver. But nonetheless, I felt a lot better watching Miami today than I did in that series. And I think these are just 2 teams that are going to have to just keep grinding, get better, a little bit better each week, and then by the end of the season, you might find yourself in a spot that you like on the standings, and that's just what they can do right now. They can't make any big changes at the moment. They just got to keep getting a little bit better each day and take it series to series and see what can happen.
That's true. Good points, both of you. As the RedHawks failed to win tonight, they lost in the shootout last night, close out the weekend with Colorado College. Actually 1 point out of the 6 available this weekend in the NCHC standings. That'll do it for us. Colorado College back home to the Robson Arena, the brand new, beautiful Robson Arena in the Springs. They'll take on St. Cloud next weekend. Friday start 7:30 Mountain Time. Saturday 6 o'clock Mountain Time for CC. RedHawks to North Dakota take on the Fighting Hawks. 8:07 start Eastern Time on Friday. 7:07 start time Saturday for Miami from the Ralph. They will fly up there on Thursday morning. So that'll do it for us here this weekend on Red Hawk Radio. For Zach Rengers, Luke West Poley, everybody else that makes it possible behind the scenes, Patrick Geshan saying so long. Good night from Steve Cady Arena. RedHawks fall to Colorado College tonight by a final score of 2-1. Really appreciate spending a part of your Saturday night with us. We appreciate it. Thank you. That is our presentation of Miami Hockey on Red Hawk Radio. We'll see you next time. Thanks again for tuning in on Red Hawk Radio. Have a good night.